Grit. It takes heart. It's the legendary Canadian Finals Rodeo, powered by ATV. From October 1st to 4th in Edmonton, the nation's best go head-to-head in a battle of pure willpower. Witness the raw strength and adrenaline at Rogers Place. Plus, soak up the Western lifestyle at the Canadian Country Expo, with free admission and shuttles running between the expo and the arena. This is more than a rodeo. It's a showdown. Get your tickets now at cfr.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show.
This is drill to right field number 51 comes in Tampa.
On Sports 1440.
For the North Carolina defense. That was the Capital One rewarding performance, and it's a rewarding run. Barnes is out the gate, inside the 30, to the 10. Touchdown TCU, 75 yards and no flags.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Neto with a one-upper, wait with a diving stop. He'll fire it to first, and he got Neto. What a play by Bobby Witt.
Now streaming on YouTube. Give us a subscription, a like, a follow, whatever it might be at Sports 1440 AM on YouTube. The Jason Gregor Show is brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, tomorrow night, or no, that will be tonight. It is the Gold Ball Jackpot, $12 million. Also, NFL kicking off tomorrow. Improved odds for all North American leagues, including the NFL this year. Promotions amongst the sports books, and it's going to be a fantastic time. Of course, the Eagles taking on the Cowboys, so you're going to have your single game bets. You can do the straight up money line odds, anytime touchdown score, things of that nature with the improved odds for the NFL. So go check it out, playalberta.ca. When you make your deposit, put in code word Gregor50 and you'll get a $50 free bet. Safe money would probably go Eagles money line. It might not pay out the most, but it could probably be your best chance for a easy win, maybe even take the points. You might want to take the points in this one because the Dallas Cowboys defense, without Micah Parsons, it might be a little susceptible to whatever the Eagles want to do. Running the football, Saquon Barkley. Passing the football from Hurts to either Brown or Devontae Smith or Dallas Goedert. They got some weapons there. And according to head coach Nick Sirianni, they won't watch the opening ceremony where they release the banner or raise the banner, unveil the banner for their Super Bowl championship last season. My name is Connor Halley. Jason Gregor will be in shortly. Just had something come up, so he's running a little bit late, but he will be in probably in the 3 o'clock hour. We've got Declan Kruger and Josh Fenwick keeping us going here on the stream. Of course, you can always reach us via our text line, 1-833-401-1440, or do it through the email. That would be at connor@sports1440.ca for the time being. Lots to get to here on the show today. It is kind of the dog days of the summer. Things starting to pick up, of course, with the NFL. We got NHL, NBA camps getting going in no time. The Oil Kings, you'll have the AJ getting going shortly here as well. CFL playoffs will be here in no time. NBA, it's going to be a lot of fun. On the show today, we'll start off with Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation and Daily Faceoff. I am intrigued because I do believe Oilers Nation HQ is getting their fantasy football draft underway right now. So I don't know if he's participating or maybe he's just going to have to sneak out for a little bit. But we'll talk to Tyler about the Edmonton Oilers, of course, Connor McDavid, and the waiting game for when it might actually happen. Paul Sir will be by. I don't know if you guys missed this, but there's some crazy stories going out there with Kawhi Leonard, former member of the Toronto Raptors, currently, of course, with the LA Clippers, skirting the NBA salary cap with a payment to do nothing from a company that plants trees. You almost couldn't make it up. But we'll talk to Paul Sir about that. Also get his thoughts on some teams to watch out for heading into the upcoming NBA season, as well as teams who he think might be a little bit overrated. We'll take a look around the NFL with Brian Diardo from CBS Sports as well. Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. We'll be joined by Farhan Lalji from TSN, covers both football, CFL, NFL. We'll, of course, get his thoughts on the Edmonton Elks and what he thought from their performance on Labor Day in the loss to the Calgary Stampeders, where they go from here. I'd love to hear his thoughts on who his top team in the league is, because the Rough Riders are a good team. The Stamps right there as well. The Western Conference going to be extremely competitive as we roll into the playoffs. We'll also be joined by Mark Spector. We'll ask 5 questions. I think I said a Cam Tate's 2-minute warning and the oil report as well. So lots to get to on the program. 1-833-401-1440. As I mentioned, that is the text line. John G says, hey boys, great opening tune. That's all Declan Kruger. Declan, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Doing great.
Doing great?
Doing great.
Really good?
Yeah, man. Breaking out the glasses for the first segment of each show on YouTube. So, feeling good. Declan stayed up late today on Low Tide Show. Always get the juices flowing a little bit more for me. So, yeah.
Why
excited.
Why the glasses? What's the reasoning for it?
Just trying to look good on camera.
Okay.
Trying to look a little Hollywood.
Bob McCowan? Was that his name?
Bob McCowan, yeah. I know PFT commenter, maybe.
Yeah, okay.
That's probably more the vibe I am. I'm a little bit silly and goofy.
I like the sunglasses look though. Like even if it's just a little sunny, I'm wearing them for sure.
Oh my goodness. I wear them until basically until it's dark when I'm driving. You know
and
what
then
I mean?
do you have like that, like, I don't even know, it's probably like a 10, 15, 20 minute window where you're like, I don't need these, but keeping them on?
I stretch that into the like a 40-minute window.
It's borderline dangerous.
I'm like, yeah, it's pitch black, but it's a busy road. I got to keep these on just in case.
Did you ever go to the club and leave your sunglasses on?
No, I would never do that.
Kind
I do have borders and standards.
Kind of a safety hazard as well, right? Like,
Well, it's just that's a bridge too far. You can't be doing that. On YouTube on a radio show, that's fine. In the club, you gotta be kenneled like a rabid dog. That's too much.
Chris and Victoria just on the song, I believe. Geez, guys, holy distortion. Turn the bass down in your mix. Chris and Victoria, I want to go the other way. I want to turn the bass up. I want to get the party started here on this show with that one. The text rolling in. Tiger says, "Arg, Corey Hart." Yeah, I mean, he did wear his sunglasses at night. It just looks cool. Trust me, it looks very cool. Declan, I did want to get your thoughts because we're going to talk to Paul Sir about it later on here. But crazy story for the LA Clippers star Kawhi Leonard. A guy I was once very fond of, and according to a report from Pablo Torre, formerly of ESPN, now does his podcast, and this guy's connected. He's got deep connections. LA Clippers and team owner Steve Ballmer reportedly accused of circumventing the NBA salary cap by paying Kawhi Leonard $28 million for an air quote no-show job. This was from a company that plants trees, Aspiration. They actually were on the Clippers jerseys, weren't they, Declan? Like, this is a company that I think they probably had good intentions for, who Ballmer, the owner of the Clippers, invested $50 million into. Later that month, $300 million partnership with the now bankrupt company Aspiration to be a part of the team's jersey and their patch. Now, Kawhi Leonard signed a 4-year, $28 million endorsement deal in 2022 with this company. Now, he'd also signed with the Clippers back then on a 4-year, $176 million deal. That was the max he could get at the time under the CBA collective bargaining agreement, of course, right? So it is a little bit shady. I'm curious if this would happen like in other sports. Like you could do it. And it's shady. It's a way to get around it. But it doesn't surprise me in the sports world that an owner would do something like this that has so much money and says, I will pay you well over $176 million to come here. I just can't do it. But let me find other ways to do so. Like I'm sure in the past, cars, homes, dining out, things of that sort. This way, it was just like, you know what? You're going to be a sponsor for this company, this charity company. I don't even know what it is that plants trees. And it kind of worked out. The problem is that he has a connection with it. So it's a little bit tougher there. Maybe like boosters clubs in the past, Declan would take a look at it. But I don't know, like, even if they are found to be guilty of this, like, what would the NBA do? Again, I'm so curious to see what the fallout is from this and does anything happen?
I've thought about this a lot. And first of all, like, it's borderline fraud.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're certain, like, this, you're like, come on, you can't give someone $28 million to do nothing when you're circumventing, a salary cap in a league that's profitable as the NBA. I really like this set. First of all, Jalen Brunson took $113 million less than he could have been paid in New York. And James Dolan, we know, is not the most stand-up guy in the world. So it'll be interesting to see what comes from that.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think you need to set a real precedent here. Because even if this isn't fraud by the letter of the law in regard to, like an SEC violation or criminal court, there needs to be some way to incentivize other people, other owners and other players from not doing this. I would suspend Kawhi Leonard for an entire year, and I would ban Steve Ballmer from the NBA.
Really?
Yeah, dude, for sure. Like, what do you think is?
Do you think this is the first time it's happened?
No, it happened with Joe Smith.
Joe Smith.
Yeah, you remember him? First overall pick in '96. Kind of
just
NBA journeyman.
Yeah.
But this happened with him and the Timberwolves. They were they were fined $3.5 million, and they were forced to give up 5 first-round picks. So it has happened before. There is a precedent for it.
Yeah.
But now, like, if you just kind of, wiggle your way around this and it's a slap on the wrist, what is stopping the richest owners in the league from just consistently doing this and taking their slap on the wrist? And to be fair, Steve Ballmer is in kind of a different stratosphere. Like, he's the richest by far, but you got a lot of owners out there with a lot of money who would do this if they could.
Well, I totally agree. And I bet you it has happened. Like, maybe it's not directly to companies that have been owned, but like a buddy's that owns
that's
a
a
company.
mistake. That's a mistake.
Like, you're my best friend. Why don't you do this for my guy? Like, give him a good deal. And, it's going to entice him to come to this team, and we'll balance it out. We'll get you some advertising or something in the arena, things like that. But you're right. When you own the team, if you want to deter this from ever happening again, you have to do that. Like, you have to do something strict, because my first thought was, well, you strip draft picks. Well, free agency is pretty massive. You don't have any. You fine Kawhi Leonard. What does he care? He's making $180 billion plus these endorsement deals. So I kind of lean towards what you're saying. Like, if you really want this to go away, sorry, Kawhi, did you know, like, doesn't matter. Your agent loses their ability to be agent and represent players in the NBA, because I have a feeling that he was probably quite involved in this as well. And yeah, I mean, would you force him to sell the team then? Is that how, like, you can't really just ban him. You kind of have to force him to sell the team, don't you?
Yeah, you would have to. It's funny, like, you bring up these, and that's why I kind of took it. That's one of the reasons I took it to such a severe degree. Like, you talk about, taking away draft picks. They don't have any.
Yeah.
They don't draft well. Kawhi Leonard, he misses half the games anyway. Fine Steve Ballmer. He has $200 billion. What does the fine do him? Like, there has to be a real punishment. Just because a slap on the wrist it gives an okay for other super rich owners to do this.
Yeah.
And then you take away parity from the league. Can't have that.
And I can't believe this hasn't happened earlier, like, more often with these guys that have so much money. But it is crazy. Like, he was getting the max you can get, and that wasn't enough to get him to go to the Clippers,
especially to, like, only play some of the games.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, got to manage him. Cat Dad says, didn't he just buy this team from the last owner because he was forced to sell? Yeah. What's his name?
Donald Sterling.
Donald Sterling, yeah. The videotapes or audio tapes were released of him saying some pretty nasty things.
The ultra rare super mega racist.
Yeah.
Probably not what you want when you want an NBA team. Yikes.
The NBA. Good move to force their hand. And then it gets even more, because who owns that arena in LA? Is it Ballmer?
He owns it now, I think, right?
So, like, what if he has to sell? Like, does he have to get out of the arena as well? And someone has to come in.
He's going to just end up making like $7 billion or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Chomsker's text in way too gray. How is this way too gray? He was paid $28 million by a shell corporation that's now defunct to not do a job. Like, what's gray about it? But that was owned by the owner.
Yeah.
What's gray about that?
Well, and he goes on to say, if Connor does a one-time commercial for a betting site and $50 million, the owner is a friend of Case, can this happen? Well, and like, that's what we kind of said. Like, it's hard for me to think that this hasn't happened with other players in other sports, in the NBA, like wherever, where I'm a super ultra rich billionaire. I sign blank to a huge contract. And then I say, you know what? You sign here. I know some people in the industry. I know some people around town. We'll take care of you. And I call my buddy Declan, who owns a car dealership, and say, hey, Declan, how much would you pay to get blank in your commercials or be the face of your business? And he says, oh, I'd do that. And I say, okay. And you do this, and hey, maybe we'll do some stuff for you to balance it out, because this is ultimately going to help us land this player. Like I hard for me to believe that this doesn't happen in sports. Like it'd just be too crazy for it not to.
Yeah, I'm sure you're right. Like, I'm sure it absolutely does. And this isn't the first instance of it, but this is a pretty because here's the other thing. This doesn't just feel like regular cap circumvention. Like, this feels like fraud.
Walter had texted in from CBA page 342, if that makes it official. NBA penalties for cap circumvention is a fine up to $4.5 million for the first offense, $5.5 million for the second, loss of 1 first-round pick, and potential affected for contracts to be voided. And that just doesn't seem like enough. Elks Oil, 1-833-401-1440 says, guys, integrity and moral character should be worth something these days. Aren't pro sports leagues businesses where all the owners and players agree to how the business will operate and sign contracts? So when you say, screw this, I think big-time penalties should happen.
That's a big part of it.
I just agree with you. Like, you have to do something to stop this and make the fear real for a team owner who's going to sign off on this, or a player or an agent. Because like we're not talking about the agent, Declan, but don't you think he was involved in this? And if you were to say to this agent, like, you know what, you're done. You are no longer an NBA certified agent. Beat it. You've lost that because you helped orchestrate this deal. You had to have a role in this. Does Kawhi have an agent?
Yeah.
Unless he didn't have an agent, which it wouldn't matter. But I just think that there's more parts to it. And I think the punishment has to be harsh. And if found guilty, if the league finds that, and I don't know how you get around that. Phil says one of the Sopranos capos had a construction scam that included no work jobs. Yeah, they did. Great show. Some other text coming in here, but Tiger says that is racketeering. It's not a specific charge. It's just a behavior to do things underhanded and pay people off. Walter says Ballmer won't be forced to sell penalties, or won't be forced to sell because the penalties are laid out in the CBA. I think there's got to be something harsher for him.
Yeah, like Walter, like he makes a good point about the letter of the law, but like I kind of go back to like, doesn't this feel like this isn't regular cap circumvention? Like this is a shell corporation paying out $28 million for a no-show job. Like there's some real to be said there.
Did you see the Clippers had a tweet on Kawhi's birthday? For every comment / retweet, Aspiration will plant 1 tree for Kawhi's birthday. So,
well, you know the funny part about that was the Aspiration they tagged is like a random account with like 14 followers.
They didn't even try. They're like, yeah, this is good. Just go for it. It's something.
They were mailing Kawhi's check at the same time. They didn't have time to focus on the tweet.
Well, they probably used AI or something. The person who did that job had to quit because they paid Kawhi so much, had to move on, move funding around. It's crazy. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Like, we'll wait for it all to play out. But right now, I'm kind of on Team Declan here, that I think that they have to make this a big penalty. You have to deter this. This is something that can't go on. It can't happen anymore. Can't even creep into the thought of an owner. Like, you do this, if eventually it's probably going to come out, you could, I don't know, lose that player, void the contract, whatever it might be.
Like, dude, how do you punish a guy with $153 billion?
Well,
you can't do anything financial to him.
No.
Like, the only way to send a message would be a lifetime ban.
It has to be almost Donald Sterling like.
Could you imagine 2 owners of the same franchise within like 11 years of each other? And
just to go to what Walter said about the CBA and like the official ruling, like what was the ruling on Donald Sterling?
$2.5 million fine and a lifetime ban.
But like, was that in the CBA? I doubt it. Like,
no.
They couldn't have had that in the rule book. This person is doing that. Like they obviously made a big example out of him.
You know what the other thing we're kind of glossing over this is? That's funny to me. Like, Kawhi doesn't play all the games and has been to 1 Western Conference final for you. Like, it's not like he's it's not like he's got like, is it 2? He's been to 1. No, he's been to 1. They've been to 1. It's not like he's lighting the world on fire. You know what I mean? Like, he's a great player. He's a good player. He's one of the, best 2-way players in NBA history. But it's not like he's winning you championships every year and he's not playing all the games. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Mitchell says it makes no sense. Why wouldn't they have a handshake deal to give him an endorsement deal when he retires relatively soon? Yeah, like that. Maybe the company wasn't going to be around after that. But like, there's ways to get around it. But they took this one. They couldn't even like, if this company was actually going to be fruitful, they could have just had him buy in or something. Like, hey, you're going to make a ton of money on this. This is an opportunity here. Anyways, we'll see what Paul thinks. So we might have to get a little bit into it later on in the show, maybe even tomorrow. Bring in a legal expert because this is absolutely nuts. Travis says Clippers remain bitter for giving up a ton of picks and SGA. Well, they probably should. Probably should, because that was a mistake. We're going to take a break here. Lots to get to on the program. It is Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. $12 million gold ball jackpot tonight as well. Better improved odds when it comes to sports betting. So if you want to get on that, you can do so. It's PlayAlberta.ca. Lotto 649 gold ball jackpot goes tonight. $12 million. Later on the show, Spec will be by. We'll talk to Farhan Lalji. Here, Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. Also, Brian Diardo from CBS NFL. And we'll talk some basketball with Paul Sir. But coming up next, it's Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation and Daily Faceoff. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on Oilers Nation, Facebook, YouTube, and X, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. TNA Wrestling makes its explosive debut at the Expo Center on Friday, September 26th and Saturday, September 27th for back-to-back nights. Buy your tickets online today. Learn more about what's happening at the Expo Center by visiting the calendar of events online at edmontonexpocenter.com today.
$1 plus tax for a smooth, small premium roast coffee at McDonald's? That means rich, full-bodied flavor at a price that's just as satisfying. Must be McCafe. Enjoy a small McCafe premium roast coffee for just $1 plus tax at participating McDonald's in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
The biggest game of the season. Your Edmonton Elks Labor Day rematch with the Calgary Stampeders on Saturday, September 6th. It's the next gen game presented by National Bank. Kids get in free with a paid adult P5 ticket and tickets start at just $20. Score yours at GoElks.com.
If you're looking for the ultimate off-road adventure, you'll find it in a Jeep Wrangler. And if you're looking for the ultimate financing deal on a Wrangler, you'll find it at St. Albert Dodge. Right now, St. Albert Dodge is offering 0% financing for up to 72 months OAC on their full selection of 2025 Jeep Wranglers. And it's a great selection. Sport, Willys, Sahara, and Rubicon, plus all the new colors, all on the lot ready to go at 0%. Come see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Reduce fine lines and wrinkles while strengthening your hair with BioCell. It's a clinically proven, Ishura-tested product that helps in the formation of collagen. Find BioCell now at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
I'm a little hungry.
I've got Booster Balls from Booster Juice.
Booster what now?
Booster Balls. They're little protein bites packed with nutrients. Chewy, crunchy, yummy, and new flavors all the time. Like this little guy. The new mint chocolate Booster Ball. Peppermint, cocoa, coconut, peanut butter, maple syrup, all rolled up into a delightful little bite-sized snack.
Why am I just hearing about this now?
I don't know.
Can I have one?
No.
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. The all-new redesigned 2026 XC90 is here. Test drive the ultimate evolution in luxury. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $5,000. Finance or lease a 2026 XC40 from 2.99%. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
farm, ranch, acreage, or lake lot. They're here to help at Batshaw Concrete Products. Family owned and operated for 60 years. They continue to provide the best products and service, period. Call now for your free quote on the highest quality ready mix and gravel, a new septic tank, or an outhouse pad and tank, plus precast cattle water pads, garage sumps, and more. Call 780-372-3854 for prompt delivery. Batshaw Concrete Products, 780-372-3854. BashawConcrete.com.
It takes grit. It takes heart. It's the legendary Canadian Finals Rodeo, powered by ATV. From October 1st to 4th in Edmonton, the nation's best go head-to-head in a battle of pure willpower. Witness the raw strength and adrenaline at Rogers Place. Plus, soak up the Western lifestyle at the Canadian Country Expo, with free admission and shuttles running between the expo and the arena. This is more than a rodeo. It's a showdown. Get your tickets now at cfr.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass. Your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
Look good, feel good, play good. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for listening to Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, also streaming on Oilers Nation Facebook, YouTube, and X. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Josh Fenwick with you here from the Stingray Studios in West Edmonton Mall. The Jason Gregor Show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Lotto Max $12 million gold ball jackpot tonight. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. Also, NFL is kicking off tomorrow. Improved odds for all North American leagues, including the NFL. So use code word Gregor. You can make your deposit, get a $50 free bet. And like I say, the safe bet is probably Cowboys to lose this one. Eagles money line, but you could throw the spread in there. You know, you could go over under as well. You could get the over. Cowboys defense might have some holes, but offensively, you know, CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott. I've seen worse. George Pickens, you know, maybe they can put up some points. Maybe it's a blowout and they're trailing and they get some garbage time points. Crazier things have happened, but head over to playalberta.ca. Use your game sense, ab.ca. The text line 1-833-401-1440. Right now, we're going to go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. Looking for the perfect way to kickstart your day? Enjoy a small McCafe premium roast coffee, still just $1 plus tax every single day at McDonald's. We bring in Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation and Daily Faceoff. Ty, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, gentlemen. Ready to roll.
Now, a question for you. I've seen on social media, it looks like Oilers Nation fantasy draft going on right now. Are you in the building, or I'm watching you? I can tell you're in the building, but are you participating?
No, I make a conscious effort to cut down on the amount of fantasy leagues I'm in. I do not, especially because I like gambling and I like playing DFS and all of that too. Like, I do not want to be the guy who's in 7 fantasy leagues and then you get to the playoffs and you need 100 things to happen. Like, no, I have one league that I have with my friends. Me and a couple buddies are in what we call our big money league, where it's a higher entry fee, but we co-manage it together. And then I'm in one league with some listeners of the Real Life podcast. 3 leagues, maxed out at 3. I say no to every single other one.
I am with you. I have in 3 as well, and one of them is with the listeners from Fantasy Frenzy. So very similar with you in that one. Now, I want to ask you this: with the Oilers Nation crew, who would you say is the best fantasy football GM, and who's probably on the back end of that? Not so good.
Zach Lang is really like analytical. He looks into the numbers. He's got spreadsheets. So like if I had to hire someone to run a team for me, I'm probably going Zach Lang. Waz is the worst. Waz is just, he took Chigakonkwo in the 6th round today. Just classic Waz stuff. He's always good for like 2 trades a year that are a disaster. It's Waz. Waz is the worst.
Okay, well, you know what though? I bet he has fun with it, and I bet he creates great content, because I've seen it in the past. He like put out his list, and all the players he drafted got hurt. Zach doesn't surprise me. Pretty smart guy in all sports. So, okay, good to know. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Edmonton Oilers and the whole McDavid contract situation. Probably going to be an overblown topic today, tomorrow, and until he signs that contract, puts his name on the dotted line. But Jeff Jackson spoke yesterday with Bob Stauffer on Oilers Now and talked about it. And, the Oilers from their end, not nervous about this one.
No, and I mean, listen, you could probably go with a glass half empty thing of that, or like, you can dismiss it and say, well, what are they supposed to do? Should the Oilers come out and be like, oh my, yeah, we're pretty worried, we're not signing? Like, no, Jeff Jackson has to come out and be confident. But I think it's genuine. Like, there's nothing the Oilers can do more than, like, they're just going to give Connor McDavid the piece of paper and say, what do you want this contract to say? And Connor will say it back. Like, that's it. That's all Edmonton can do. If Connor really wants to leave, he won't be leaving for money. He won't be leaving for term. It's not like Edmonton is saying, we won't give you the max. We won't give you a 2-year deal. It has to be 8. Like, Edmonton's putting no restrictions on that. I love that Jeff Jackson kind of said that too, being like, whenever Connor's ready to say the terms, we'll put it to paper and we'll get this thing done. That is the right way for the Oilers to play it, to let everybody know, no matter what sort of confusion maybe gets thrown out there from his camp of like, he might go into the year without a contract. If you're the Oilers, the smart play, and I applaud them for it, put your hand up, say, we'll give him whatever he wants, and then end the conversation, because that's really what this is.
Now, we also had some news from Dylan Holloway, former member of the Edmonton Oilers, of course, a year ago. It's the offer sheet from the Blues, signs the contract with them, and spoke about how it kind of rubbed him the wrong way, how little Edmonton thought of him. What did you make of those comments from Dylan Holloway?
So an athlete saying that they've been disrespected and this, athletes need to do that because it puts the chip on their shoulder. It's really hard to kind of judge that when it's like not your career and your life and all of that. So I understand why he says that. In reality, was Dylan Holloway disrespected by the Oilers? No, they were doing what every team does with their RFAs. He didn't have ARB rights. They wanted to squeeze him to get him on an ultra cheap value contract. And listen, is anyone sitting there right now going, the Calgary Flames don't respect Connor Zary, the Ducks don't respect Mason McTavish, the Devils don't respect Luke Hughes? No, this is how RFAs get treated every single year for 10 years before Dylan Holloway and for 10 years after Dylan Holloway. The Oilers didn't disrespect him. Did they mangle the negotiation and really mess things up with a promising young player? Absolutely. But they did it because they didn't think anyone would offer sheet him. And again, let's go back to 13 months ago. No one was sitting there going, oh boy, the Blues are going to offer. Like, this is just how RFAs get treated. I don't think it was disrespectful. It was stupid, but I don't think the Oilers were like, yeah, you can go to St. Louis, you scrub. Like, that's not what happened.
Beat it, loser. Yeah, I don't think that was the conversation had between the two sides. Tyler Yaremchuk of Oilers Nation and Daily Faceoff joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in for the first hour and a half. Gregor will be by shortly. One of the great things you guys are doing right now at Oilers Nation is the top 100 Oilers of all time. Kind of a playoff, an article that Robin Brownlee did in 2015. I'm just looking at the list today. I see Zdeno Seeger there. Some fun names. Is there any player on the list, and I don't know if you have access to it already, Tyler, but any player that you're intrigued by to see where they end up in the top 100?
So I'm happy you brought this up because I heard you guys talking about this the other day. So the way this list worked this time around is we took Brownlee's original ranking from a decade ago, then Cam Lewis, Zach Lang, myself, Liam Horrobin, and Bagged Milk. I don't think Gregor did it. I don't see him on here, but we all submitted our own lists of top 100s, and then the aggregate, we found it, and boom, that's how we came with this list. So I was pretty involved in this process from the beginning. I think what's interesting when you start to see some names on here, like Laddie Schmid came in at 96, and a lot of people would sit there and go like, come on, a defensive defenseman from an era where they never made the playoffs. But like, the Oilers have only had 600 and some odd players play for their organization. One of every 6 players to ever wear an Oilers jersey is going to be on this list. So what I kind of tried to balance was like, okay, if you were here for a very, very short time, how much success did you have? That's why someone like a Kent Nilsson was in my top 100. He was actually a little bit higher I had him higher than most guys because it's like, you know what? You were basically here for one season, but you played well and you won a Stanley Cup, and that's worth something to me. Laddie Schmid's on the other end of the spectrum where like, did they win? No. Was he the best player on any of those teams? No. But do I give him an abundance of credit for committing to the city of Edmonton? He's a part of the Oilers franchise story, and he was a really good player when he was here. So I tried to balance like players who were legitimately good or great players that played for the Edmonton Oilers with guys who were great Oilers. And I think a guy like Schmid was a great Oiler. I think a guy like Devin Dubnyk has a special spot in the organization's history. You know, Jeff Petrie was in my top 100 as well. I think people are probably going to have some hate when they see how high most of us ranked Stuart Skinner. But the reality is Stuart Skinner is one of the winningest goalies in franchise history already. He's been to more Stanley Cup finals than basically anyone who wasn't around in the 80s. Like, Stuart Skinner is probably a top 50 Oiler. I think I had him in my top 60, but like the numbers back all it up. So again, recency bias with a few other guys too, guys who are on these last couple of years teams like Corey Perry ended up in my top 100 as well. It's a really, really interesting list. So I implore people to go check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. OilersNation.com. And it's going to be intriguing because we talked about it a lot the last couple of weeks.
Well,
we have your top 5, 6, but then it's like 7 through 10. There's a lot of good answers too.
But let me just throw this your way. Let's go McDavid, Messier, Gretzky. How would you rank them? 1, 2, 3.
Well, I asked a couple of our guests, and they were guests that had seen Messier play. It was Gretzky, Messier, McDavid. They just said you can't throw away what he did winning the Stanley Cups, winning the also winning when McDavid or Gretzky left. Gave, I think it was Struddy and Speck were like, they just have to have it that way. Me personally, not seeing Messier in the light that they do, I have Gretzky, McDavid, Messier, because this is what McDavid's done awards wise. I know he hasn't got to the top of the mountain yet, but he's unbelievable. He's the best player I've ever seen in my life. So hard for me just to discredit that.
I had Connor. I was the only one in our poll who had Connor McDavid at number 2 and not Messier at number 2. And my thinking was, I know Messier won a Stanley Cup here when Wayne was gone. And I'm not at all trying to discredit Mark Messier. He is fantastic. And he is still a great ambassador for the city and the team. But when we look back at the Oilers, let's say 60 years from now, Connor, when you and I are real old and talking on the air still, we'll go McDavid era, Gretzky era. Those will be 2 defined eras. I'm not, people are going to kill me for this. I'm not sure if there's like a defined Messier era that's like up there with what the McDavid era will be, if that makes any sense. I know I'm maybe butchering it. People are going to be mad at me, but that's how I feel.
Well, I mean, I understand it because I agree. I get with what you're saying. I mean, the individual accolades that he has, if only he would have won one of those 2 cups, I don't think as many people would argue it. But Messier got there. He won it. He did it as a captain without Gretzky. But even you go back to those teams, and I mean, it was Bill Ranford got a lot of the love there, right? When the Conn Smythe, I think that season. Yeah. I mean, I think it's a good debate. And being, 2A, 2B, to Connor McDavid, probably the most dynamic offensive player we've seen since Gretzky. Like, I don't know if that's a huge insult, but hey, it's the internet, so people will take it that way, right?
Let me throw you another one. Who would you have higher on the top 100 Oilers, Evan Bouchard or Chris Pronger?
Man, that is a really good one. Longevity
right?
versus, I mean, Evan Bouchard broke playoff records, right? For point production.
And he played here for longer, and he's going to play here for longer. But I think there's a lot of people who are going to be texting in right now going, he's not even in the top 100.
He's only a top 10 defenseman voted on the NHL Network by the last 2 years. But yeah, oh man, that's I might just fire people up and say Bouchard just to get people a little testy here. Before we let you go, Ty, I got to talk a little Toronto Blue Jays. 2.5 game lead in the AL East, up on the Yankees and the Red Sox, who are making that late season push. Shane Bieber on the bump tonight. Is this must-watch TV for you with Shane Bieber and what he's done so far?
Every Blue Jays game is must-watch TV for me right now, but especially when you have Bieber on the mound looking as good as he's looked. Like we talked last time I was on, and it was like, okay, hey, or maybe it was a couple weeks ago, like, don't judge him just on that Miami start. So it was 2 weeks ago, because like coming back from Tommy John, you never know. But it was kind of like, but if he looks dominant, you can read a lot into being dominant. If he looked bad, I wasn't going to like pull the plug and be like, whoa, bad trade for the Jays. Like you had to give him a chance to ramp up. The fact he's looking this good already is like special stuff. Like we are talking about a legit front of the rotation, number 1 ace quality starter that when the Toronto Blue Jays get to the postseason, there is no question about who they point to in game 1. It is Shane Bieber, and he's pitching tonight with them having a chance to continue to hold on to the top record in the American League. People can complain and whine about how the bullpen is stunk here. The bullpen stunk here. One, If you think hockey goaltenders are hard to predict, go look at MLB bullpens, man, because it never makes a lick of sense anywhere. And the bullpen that's cold in September, sometimes it becomes the bullpen who's the hottest in October. Look up when the Texas Rangers won their World Series. They had the worst bullpen basically that entire summer, won it all. It's all about being hot at the right time. Bullpens are unpredictable. I'm not losing any sleep over Jeff Hoffman and the bullpen, and I smile a lot when I see Shane Bieber in a Blue Jays jersey because that's the kind of guy that can single-handedly win you a playoff game.
Tickets as low as $8 if you're in the Cincinnati area and listening right now. And then huge series this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yankees in New York. The Saturday-Sunday game, 11 and 11:30 starts. Can be heard here on Sports 1440 on our radio feed. Tyler, before I let you go, how jazzed are you for week 1 in the NFL? Your Bills hosting the Ravens Sunday Night Football, going to be electric.
Oh, man. How about this for a day I have lined up on Sunday? I'm playing in a golf tournament in the morning. I'll have Red Zone on in the cart, wrap up, dinner, all that. Should be done like 5:30-ish. Get home, plant myself on the couch, Sunday Night Football with my Buffalo Bills. It's going to be great. I'm so excited for football to be back. There's nothing better than just sort of in my brain, my routines of like, for the first month of the football season, I golf on Sundays. I put Red Zone on in the cart. It is beautiful. And then when it's cold outside, there is nothing better than ordering in some good food, sitting on the couch for 7 straight hours, having a couple beers, and just kicking your feet up. And of course, because I like betting, gambling, and watching football.
I got goosebumps, Ty. Hey, thanks for joining us. Enjoy the golf over the weekend and the football. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be tremendous, boys. Should be good weather. See ya.
There you go. That is Tyler Yaremchuk, Oilers Nation and Daily Faceoff, joining us as he does every Wednesday here on the Jason Gregor Show. And we got some text already rolling in. Walter says, I put Pronger ahead of Bush on the NHL all-time list, but Bush on an Oilers best list. Oh, absolutely. Pronger, he's a Hall of Famer. He was one of the best to ever do it. But for the Oilers, it was just 1 year. Their results were amazing, but they weren't any better than Evan Bouchard's results as a team. You know, they both lost in Game 7 once. One time, though, man, it was a heck of a run for Pronger. I would say I didn't like Chris Pronger before he was an Oiler, and it took until, I want to say it was January, and I'm pretty sure he scored a breakaway. It was a last-second goal. It might have been his slap shot from the blue line. Like, no time left. I think they beat the Coyotes. And I said, okay, I like this guy. That lasted about 6 months. A young Oilers fan in Edmonton. Schwackhammer in New York, guaranteed to win and got it. Won the Cup too. Yeah, but this list is top Oilers. So that was an epic moment by Messier for sure. Guaranteeing the win to get them back into the series, then going out and winning it. Epic. But not an Oiler. Chris Victoria says, guys, I'm 57 years old. I saw Gretzky, Messier days. I think Leon passed Messier this year on that list. When you consider what Ty said, good Oilers, longevity, etc., I think that Leon is a better player than Messier. And I honestly think that McDavid is a better player than Gretzky was. Keyword, better, not greater. I mean, skill. Greatness comes with winning. Chris in Victoria. Well-worded text there. Chris, thank you for that. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we're going to talk some NBA. Of course, the Kawhi Leonard situation is absolutely bananas. So we'll talk to Paul Sir about that a little bit, the host of the basketball show. We'll also talk some signings and who he likes and dislikes going into this season. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Also streaming on Oilers Nation, Facebook, YouTube, and X. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today. play.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job, from home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs. We're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Reduce fine lines and wrinkles while strengthening your hair with BioCell. It's a clinically proven, Ishura-tested product that helps in the formation of collagen. Find BioCell now at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
It's the Brick's famous tent sale. Save up to 60% off clearance items in the tent and store, with more amazing deals arriving daily in every department, like up to $1,800 off power reclining sectionals and up to $700 off big screen TVs. Buy more, save more when you buy 2 or more major appliances, up to $1,000 off. Plus, get a free Bluetooth party speaker when you spend $9.99 or more on furniture. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
It all started in 2006.
The year Twitter was founded.
Google bought YouTube.
We played Wii Sports.
And the Rocks opened, changing Jasper Avenue forever.
Celebrate 19 years of OTR on September 19th.
Featuring Edmonton's own The Royal Foundry.
With party band Occur.
DJ Deadly Nedley and DJ Kenny K.
Edmonton's biggest party started in 06 and is still rocking harder than ever.
See you September 19th.
At On the Rocks.
Jasper Ave and 118th.
Mr. Rooter goes for a fall stroll.
Ah, the beauty of fall. These leaves are crunchier than that calcified shower head I replaced this morning. And the earthy yellow oranges and browns are as colorful as the wad of hair I pulled out of the shower drain.
Ugh, Mr. Rooter, can we talk about something else?
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you didn't like fall. You look about as sour as the sewer line I unclogged yesterday.
For a plumber you'll truly fall for. Call Mr. Rooter.
Oodle Noodle origins. In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudell, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the new world. At Ellis Island, Nudell was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as Oodle Noodle.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and I want to explain how our operation works. You see, over at the new RV store, they take orders and try to sell them all by camping season, and sometimes they sell out early. Sometimes they're stuck with a few that just won't move, and maybe they take a couple of used ones on trade. At No Bull, it's a whole different ballgame.
You have inventory arriving all the time, right, Rick?
That's right, Bob. The RVs at No Bull are here on consignment. Folks choose to sell their RVs with us because the customers are already here.
And you specialize in used RVs.
Better believe it, Bob. The new RV stores are not that interested in used models. And nobody in Alberta has more quality used RVs than we do. Not by a long shot. So if you want to sell yours fast, come to where the buyers are. And that's here.
And that's No Bull.
NobleRV.ca. Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's 2:47. Welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Also streaming at Oilers Nation, Facebook, YouTube, and X. Of course, in case you somehow missed it, we are now streaming all day long on Sports 1440 AM on YouTube. Search it up. Check our socials. We've got it plastered all over the place. You can catch the Kevin Carrius Show, Fantasy Frenzy, and the Lowdown with Low Tide on Sports 1440 AM on YouTube. It's fantastic. We're having a lot of fun with it. Everyone's coming in here, presenting themselves a little bit more. You can tell some of the guys are showering more. So it's really benefited us all. here at Sports 1440. My name is Connor Halley. I got Declan Kruger and Josh Fenwick with us here as well. Gregor will be by shortly. I'm just covering for a few more segments here and lots to get to on the program. So Mark Spector will be by, Farhan Lalji. We got Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. Brian Diardo from CBS NFL. We'll preview the season with him. But right now, we're going to talk some basketball in the NBA report, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No OT charges, furnace repair, and maintenance. Do it now with legacyheating.ca. We bring in Paul Sir, host of the basketball show here on Sports 1440. Paul, how you doing today?
Doing great. I'll make the announcement now. We're going to have a name change. Next week, we're going to rebrand the basketball show. So
really?
If you have me back next week, I'll commit to announcing it on your show.
Do you have something in the works right now, or is it down to the last couple options?
No, I know what it's going to be.
Okay.
I know what it's going to be. I'm excited about it.
10
10
right.
years. I've been doing this 10 years. Time for a rebrand. And
All
I
right.
think it's something that I think will resonate.
Okay. Well, I'm interested in that one. And I mean, hey, the basketball world, like almost every other sports league, Paul, never seems to slow down. And today, some crazy news out of the association, all coming from Pablo Torre, I think a well-respected contributor for ESPN, now does his own podcast, saying that allegedly, Clippers team owner Steve Ballmer circumventing the NBA salary cap by paying $28 million to Kawhi Leonard from a company that allegedly planted trees. Aspiration. So it's crazy. Kawhi got the huge contract, 4-year deal, $176.3 million. That was the maximum they could get under the NBA's CBA at the time. But then also the company Aspiration, it was a 4-year deal worth $28 million. I mean, I'm trying to think of this in other sports. I'm kind of surprised more owners haven't done this in the past. But what were your thoughts when you saw this news break?
Well, anybody who listens to me knows I'm a big Timberwolves guy. And one of the reasons I can relate directly to this from the Timberwolves is back in 1990, the owner, Glenn Taylor, worked out a dealer for a guy named Joe Smith, who was an inconsequential NBA player. And they did a series of strange one-year deals to try to front load low salaries on, and then made big promises for bigger salaries down the road. This probably goes on more than we're aware of, but in this particular situation, this isn't the first time Kawhi apparently and his agent haven't been seeking or involved in somewhat questionable contract negotiations, but it looks like, and like you said, Pablo's a very respected guy in this industry. It looks like Ballmer was trying to circumvent things. And I guess when you look at all those zeros, you wonder why that? Like, isn't 176 million enough? Apparently not. But it looks like they were bad boys. And now the pressure will be on the NBA to do a fulsome investigation and see if this is indeed the case. And if it is, what are the penalties? With the Timberwolves, it was devastating. It set the franchise back a decade at least. I don't know in today's NBA whether that would happen, Connor, but isn't Kawhi just hard to figure after his 1 year in Toronto and then, goes to LA and it's been kind of a train wreck since, and he's quiet and he's weird and all these things. And now he's doing under the table for a tree planting company for another 28 mil. It's a weird world.
It is. And I feel like the agent has to be involved in this. And, I feel like there has to be some harsh presentation, but you mentioned it, like he got a ton of money. And just from what we see of Kawhi Leonard, he kind of seems like he just say, okay, like, where do I sign? And then go off on his trip to San Diego and stay out of the limelight. So it's really intriguing. And just looking here, the NBA's 2023 CBA, the teams can be punished for circumventing the league's cap. They can include fines up to $7.5 million, direct forfeiture of draft picks, avoiding any player contract, and the suspension up to a year for any team personnel found to be engaged in such violation. But Declan Kruger brought it up, like, they don't have draft picks. Ballmer is so rich. Kawhi also so rich. Like, it doesn't seem like fines and draft picks would be enough to deter this type of thing from happening in the future.
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, in the Clippers situation, as Declan pointed out, I mean, they don't have draft picks for a million years. So you're going to take away their first draft pick in 2056? Like, you know what? And $7 million in the maximum fine to Ballmer is literally a nickel. for a guy worth 156 billion. So that's not a deterrent. What will be interesting is if the NBA discovers that this is indeed the case, what are the suspensions and what would the negating of a contract mean? Does that mean Kawhi's contract is negated? Does that mean Kawhi sits out at that would not just be a big deal to the Clippers, but a big deal to Kawhi at this stage of his career, because we're, in the twilight of his career. So sitting out a year right now, he'll be none the poorer for it. But it's one of those situations you just scratch your head at. It's such an unreal world that they live in and work within anyway. So $28 million for a tree planting scam is really, really silly. It's funny. It's hard to relate to.
Yeah, and it's so weird because it doesn't impact him on court at all. Like, it doesn't change anything he's done on court. Even, for the Clippers, they gave him the max deal. So like they couldn't, it's not like he signed for $5 million and then they gave him this secret hidden $25 million contract or anything like that. They gave him as much as they could and then gave him even more. So it's like, it just almost seems like greed. That's kind of all it looks like right now. But I just don't get how this hasn't happened in the past, and it probably has, where it's just, you can't quite connect the dots quite as well.
Probably so. I think it would be safe to assume that. And you mentioned something about Kawhi comes across as the kind of golly gee, aw shucks kind of athlete that will just sign on the line. The money doesn't mean that much to him. Well, obviously that's different.
Yeah.
But we have a guy like that who legitimately worked like that coming to Edmonton this weekend, a fellow by the name of John Stockton, who's going to be speaking at the Alberta Basketball Association gala on Saturday evening. And John's historical career has records that will never be broken, such as assists for a career. But John would go into the owner of the Utah Jazz's office by himself without an agent, negotiate a deal, and come out, some say as little as 30 minutes later, and walk away and say, I can't spend this money anyway. So, he's willing to sacrifice that for the team. Dirk Nowitzki, well documented that he took pay cuts in order to get Jason Kidd to be able to play for the Mavericks. He took a contract that was worth a lot less. So there are people that have done this. I guess Kawhi doesn't fit quite in that class.
I think Tom Brady's another one who allegedly walked into someone in football operations office and said, hey, if I can't live for $25 million a year, something's wrong. Get the deal done. And
that's right.
So yeah, it's an interesting situation. We'll continue to monitor as it happens. Paul Sir from the Basketball Show for now, joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. I want to ask you about the contract for PJ Washington, 4 years, $90 million with the Mavericks. What did you think about that number?
Well, it's too much for a guy that plays a lot of defense. In this NBA, I don't know what's enough and what's too much anymore. Like, it just, the salaries are so ludicrously high, and the way that they have to balance them out against the aprons, as they're called in the NBA, tiering of what you're paying your players. From what I understand, with what the Mavericks have done and have to do, they're going to be over what's called the second apron, which is really expensive. So that means they're going to probably have to start unloading some players, if not this season, certainly next. Now, Washington, I think the signal it sends to the Dallas fans from a guy named Nico Harrison, their GM, who traded away Luka Doncic, and then had the, magic of the draft lottery land in his lap, and he gets Cooper Flag. What this does send a signal out is that the Mavericks are here to win, and they're here to win now. So is PJ Washington a key piece? Maybe. He's a real good defender. He's a real streaky offensive player. I'm surprised, quite honestly, they didn't try to do something else like move him, maybe sign and trade, something like that. But I think, we're dealing with Nico Harrison, so his motivations are hard to understand sometimes. But now the Dallas Mavericks are whole, Connor, and we'll see if this blend of talent, contingent on Kyrie Irving coming back, if this contingent will be good enough to be in the thick of it in the very tough Western Conference next year. So It does remove some uncertainty from this lineup. It does plug a hole at the small and power forward positions. They've got their big signed. Cooper's in town. Kyrie is rehabbing. So it'll be interesting to see what this actually means in terms of the Dallas Mavericks run for a potential title in the near future.
Now, Paul, we're 6-7 weeks away from the start of the season. Thunder Rockets on October 21st. But my question for you, give me one team that you think is a little overrated and one team that you think is underrated on September 3rd.
Overrated, I'm going to go Houston Rockets. I'm not a huge fan of the Kevin Durant signing, of the moves that they made. Durant's one of the greatest players of all time, but he's 37, going to be 38 years old, with a body that has failed him many times. So we will see how he fits with the players that are in that rotation. They've got a lot of everything, but I'm just not sold. And I think they'll be hard pressed to have a season like I think the expectations are for what they're putting on Kevin Durant to bring to them. And then the surprise team I'm going to go with out of the gate is the Atlanta Hawks, because Atlanta has made some intriguing moves, both in terms of who they've gotten rid of and who they've brought in. They've got some tremendous young talent, and they really seemed, I think, through the course of last year to be establishing a pretty darn good basketball culture there. So with their reconfigured lineup, you never think of powerhouse teams and equate that with the name Atlanta Hawks. But maybe this year is the year that the Hawks make some, not just some noise, but some real noise in the East. And I'm hoping that is the case, because I think they've been aggressive in a market that really isn't that supportive of the Hawks. Like, they're one of the more poorly attended NBA franchises, but man, they keep trying, and they keep trying hard. Plus, we have a Ross Shep high school grad as their GM. So you got to pull for Atlanta. And so you've got, we've got a personal touch here that I think is worthy of our attention. And I think what they've done there is impressive. And I hope it bears itself out on the court.
Well, go T-Birds. As a proud Shep alum as well.
I know.
My secondary team, maybe. Paul, thanks so much for doing this today. Look forward to the rebrand of the basketball show, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds great. Thanks, Connor.
There you go. That is Paul Sir, host of the Now Basketball Show. But tune in next week. We'll have a new name for it here on Sports 1440. Keep the text rolling in, 1-833-401-1440, the EWEL inbox. Your local electrical distributor. Stay tuned for an electrifying show. Check them out online, ewel.ca. Plenty of things to get to. Of course, we'll take your texts, some news on the Oilers rookie game we can get to coming up shortly here. We'll also be joined by Brian Diardo from CBS Sports. Talk some NFL. Farhan Lalji will be by. Spec, Cam Tate's 2-minute warning, and more here on the Jason Gregor Show. But right now, we'll get to a Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where their rates never change. No OT charges, furnace repair, and maintenance. Do it now with legacyheating.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Felix Auger-Aliassime is into the semifinals in the men's singles at the U.S. Open. He won in 4 sets against 8-seed Alex de Minaur earlier today. Coming up later tonight, we will see the top seed Yannick Sinner and 10-seed Lucas Massetti in the other quarterfinal. 8-seed Anna Anisimova and 2nd-seed Iga Swiatek are currently tied for 4 in their first set of their quarterfinal. Caroline Mukova and Naomi Osaka will go later today at 5. In the MLB, just one final from earlier today. 2 finals from earlier today was Nats over the Marlins 10-5 and the Tigers over the Mets 6-2. Blue Jays will be in action at 4:40 with Shane Bieber on the bump as they're in Cincinnati taking on the Reds. And in the sporting world, the LA Clippers and team owner Steve Ballmer have reportedly been accused of circumventing the salary cap by paying $28 million to Kawhi Leonard for a, quote, no-show job. Pablo Torre reporting that the Clippers paid him through a now bankrupt company owned by Steve Ballmer. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440,
a Stingray radio station.
broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Reduce fine lines and wrinkles while strengthening your hair with BioSil. It's a clinically proven, Ishura-tested product that helps in the formation of collagen. Find BioSil now at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Work never gets done by standing around. You have to put your words into action. And that's exactly what GS Construction does every single day. Our priorities are safety first, quality second, efficiency third. GS Construction works hard. It's true. But first comes the care, the planning, and the people. Underground infrastructure isn't just about machines and trenches and some traffic inconveniences. It's about doing things right. Find out more on what we do. Visit gsconstruction.ca.
$1 plus tax for a smooth, small premium roast coffee at McDonald's? That means rich, full-bodied flavor at a price that's just as satisfying. Must be McCafe. Enjoy a small McCafe premium roast coffee for just $1 plus tax at participating McDonald's in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
Performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicks things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
It's road trip season, and that means loading up on the road trip essentials like snacks, tunes, and Hondas. Sherwood Honda has fuel-efficient, dependable SUVs, hybrids, crossovers, and more to take you up, down, and all around this province and beyond. Travel in comfort and safety, going where you want to go, when you want to go, stopping to see whatever catches your imagination on the way. Summer road trips make memories that sure would last. Start yours off right at Sherwood Honda.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden. Rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Look good, feel good, play good. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for listening to Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Still here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Connor Halley, we got Declan Kruger and Josh Fenwick with you here from the Sports 1440 studios in West Edmonton Mall. Text line 1-833-401-1440. Play Alberta. Hey, Lotto 649 tonight. $12 million gold ball jackpot. Also, NFL kicks off tomorrow improved odds for all the North American Major Leagues this season. So go check it out, playalberta.ca. You can have some fun. And when you use your code word, put in Gregor50. So that's Gregor50. You get a $50 free play with your deposit. And my safe bet, I've been saying it, you want to win some money? It won't be the biggest payout, but a good payout. Eagles money line. It's safe. It's safe. And then maybe you turn that into something else. Text line, as I mentioned, 1-833-401-1440. Blake says, thank you, Mr. Sir, for the info on the Atlanta Hawks GM. Let's go T-Birds from Black-Eyed Blake. Yeah, I got a chance to go to Shep a couple of years ago, speak to some kids. Don't know why they asked me. Gregor and I went. That makes more sense. I just kind of tagged along. And the facilities there are so nice. Like the high school sports, man, they doing it right. When I was there, the weight room was fine, but like they made it world class now. John of St. Albert says, question, who do you think the Elks should start at quarterback on Saturday? Cody Fajardo. I don't think there's any reason not to. He's been the guy that has helped turn this team around. Just a little bit more of a stable presence. We had him on the show yesterday. Great interview if you missed it, up at jasongregor.com or Apple, Google, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you want to go find it, you can. And, he's just a guy that kind of gives you confidence, and he's reliable. Less inconsistencies, I would say, than when you have Trey Ford out there. But there is going to be a point, and if they don't stay in the race for the playoff for the crossover, there will be a point where I think Trey Ford is going to get back out there, and you're going to have to see some improvements, some gains, and hope that it transitions into more wins and can carry over next into the offseason. But yeah, if they fall out of the playoff picture, then I think you got some questions for this team. Drew says, hey guys, anyone else not surprised the LTR loophole being closed in the NHL, especially after the Edmonton Oilers used it for Evander Kane? Drew, no, I guess not. I guess the way some of these things have happened after the Oilers take advantage of it is interesting. I guess the timing of the CBA plays a role into it, and it was something they had to do. They had to find a way to get a salary cap in the postseason for the NHL because teams just were so willing to do whatever they had to do to make it work. And it wasn't cheating because it was allowed. The NHL allowed it to happen year after year. And, it's not that hard for a player to sit out a week or two extra if they have to. I don't think they're going to want to sit out too long, but a week or two, no big deal. And then even going into the postseason, if you miss a couple games, but that frees you up $8 million to bring in another player at the deadline, of course you're going to take advantage of it. So I am glad the NHL is looking to correct that. I like the moves they've made. The reports of a potential 19-year-old being allowed to play in the AHL, I love that. I love in certain situations, not for everyone. I hope it doesn't get overused, but I think there's certain players in the past that really would have benefited from that jump. Not playing in junior, not playing at the best league in the world level, but kind of playing in that middle area, getting a little more acclimated to the speed of the game, being a professional. It's different when you're a professional, playing in the AHL with some guys who have been there for a long time that can really help you mature, not only on the ice, but off the ice. I think that's something that's a really good idea in a certain situation. Not all the time, but for the right players. Walter texting in 1-833-401-1440 in regards to the Kawhi Leonard cap circumvention thing. There are also penalties laid on the CBA for having secret contracts in place, which include a fine of up to $7.5 million, direct forfeiture of draft picks, and a suspension of up to 1 year for team personnel involved. So that could be another one there. I mean, we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. It's something though. It's a big deal because if you don't go down and crack down hard on this, then you're just opening it up for every other team to do it. I'd say there's probably 75, and that number might be low, percentage of the billionaire owners that would be willing to do this if it helps them acquire a superstar talent. And, Declan said it, Kawhi doesn't play all the time, but coming off the championship with the Raptors, he was a hot commodity. Every team would have loved it, have added him to their roster. And if you can give a guy an extra $28 million from what we've seen, do nothing. I tried to find a commercial, a photo shoot, anything with Kawhi Leonard and this company, tree planting company, and I can't find anything. So if you do, show me. And then all of a sudden, at least he's done something. But just to pay him money when he's already getting 176 mil, that one is wild to me. The text line is 1-833-401-1440. We are going to talk some NFL football with Brian Diardo in a couple minutes here. But I just got an email. The Edmonton Oilers and Calgary Flames rookie game, Friday, September 12th. So next Friday. Tickets on sale now. So you can, tomorrow, 10 a.m. So if you want to get tickets for the rookie game, of course, Matt Savoy is going to be taking part. Ike Howard as well. Tickets on sale tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. That'll be a fun one. Those rookie games are always fun. High intensity, guys trying to make a name for themselves. Looking forward to that one coming down. Declan, I want to ask you and the rest of our listeners out there, because Tyler Yaremchuk talking about the NFL. I mean, I was loving his plan. Going out golfing. Obviously, he's a Bills fan, so you can take your time, have some fun, keep Red Zone on the phone, watch it, stay up to date. He'll have his bets in place, I'm sure, and then get home for the primetime game. Bills hosting the Ravens. You're also a Bills fan, and I know you're also a huge college football fan. I, for a long time, used to hunker down with the guys on Sundays and just, order in pizza, maybe have a couple drinks, watch football for as long as you possibly could. What's a young guy like yourself doing this weekend for the kickoff of the NFL season?
Generally, my Saturdays are the days that I'm really hunkering down there. You know what I mean? And I do have a dream Saturday. I'll lay that out at some other point. Listen, the first Sunday, it's like Christmas morning to a sports-loving adult. I mean, Red Zone is the way to go. And we get a lot of texts on Low Tide Show. I don't know how it's divvied up on the Gregor Show or on Fantasy Frenzy, but we get a lot of people who text, and I think it's because Low Tide is a bit of an older demographic, that they'll watch one game. They'll watch one in the 11 o'clock window, and then one in the 2 o'clock window, then Sunday Night Football, if they get all three. But I could not imagine not watching Red Zone and just having the constant boom, 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 boom every second I'm awake for those 7 hours. Like, you have to do it. It is the best possible way to watch football. There is always something exciting going on. There is always something going on. And yeah, like if your team is playing in that 11 o'clock or 2 o'clock window, you put them on a separate screen. That sounds like a bit of a luxury, don't get me. But I mean, most people these days have two screens in some capacity, right?
Yeah.
So that's how you have to do it. That's what I plan. Obviously, not for the Bills Ravens game, but that's how I spend my Sundays. Mixed in a little run early in the morning, so you get the blood flowing a little bit. Obviously, mixed in some church if you're me, but that's how I do it.
I had some friends that would be like, get up Sunday morning, go get a coffee, straight to wherever, get your pro line. This is before the betting was made legal. You get the pro line.
Send it to your bookie and like an account in the Cayman Islands to get some money and stuff.
We would be like, okay, what's the weather like? And then, before the 2 o'clock slate of games, all right, this ticket's busted. Let's go get another one. It's obviously changed with the, playalberta.ca. Mm-hmm. You can just make it right from your phone. It's fantastic, but
too easy.
It's changed a little bit in my time, but I'm jazzed up. And like you said, like this is Christmas Day. I'm a little disappointed. Like, I'm going to love it Friday night when the Chargers play the Chiefs. I'm going to have to race home 6 o'clock to start from Sao Paulo. So it takes a little bit off my Sunday, but I will be totally locked in for our fantasy football teams, seeing what the guys do. Man, can't wait for this. It's been so long. And then hockey's going to be here right around the corner as well. Man, a good time for sure. Brian Fan says, what if the Toronto Raptors did this? Well, I don't know. I don't know exactly what would happen because we still don't know what's going to happen with the LA Clippers in this situation. Like, it's messy. You touched on it, Declan, and so did Paul. I mean, we've seen similar things from back in the day with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And that was a situation where he signed for cheap deals and then was promised more money down the line.
Yeah, I think so.
So, like, I guess that's circumventing the cap.
Kind of.
This just seems worse because he was all like, they couldn't have given him any more money. Like, he was taking up that percentage of the cap, the allotted money that the team could spend on salaries, and then got more. Yep. Like, it's greed is what it is.
It's the greed they talked about in the Bible. And you were having a good conversation with a texter. I don't know who it was. I can't find it now. But you were saying, like, did he at least do a commercial for these guys? Like, did he at least take a picture? None of that is crazy. And Matt and Leduc, he texted in earlier, and he had a great point about what it is. Cap circumvention might be one penalty with one set of rules, but this could be qualified as conduct detrimental to the league. And that's where the real penalties come down. Like, that was the phrasing and the verbiage of how they got Donald Sterling. No reason it doesn't happen here with Steve Ballmer.
If they does it, we haven't found it. It hasn't popped up. But like, had he done commercials or a photo shoot or shown up to like an event with this company, Aspiration, do you think all of a sudden we're cool with it? Like, it's like, okay, well, he was endorsing them and he actually went out and did stuff, or it doesn't matter because Steve Ballmer's already involved.
like the Steve Ballmer owning it makes it so shady.
Mm-hmm.
But if he had truly been out there endorsing it, it's definitely a lot better. But like, even still, I don't know where you come out on this, Connor, but the owner owning the company as well, like that's messy.
I am with you on that one. I just, like I said,
put the company under your wife's cousin's brother-in-law's name or something at least.
You left.
Let us have to go through some hula hoops to get there.
You left the paper trail, right? Like you left it there for him to be found. I'm with you. I know it seems like he could have, and that's why I just, as I've said, I'm sure it's been done before, but it's other companies that aren't owned by the owner, friends, whatever it might be. They find a way to make it work. Little extra money on the top. Maybe you have them involved in the company though. Like I said, like do a commercial. Go to the car dealership. Go to the restaurant. Whatever it might be. Go be seen. This one, it just seems like it was straight up. Hey, Kawhi, Aspiration wants you on board. You don't have to do anything though. We're just literally going to pay you. Wear the logo on your jersey. Aaron says they just didn't pull it off properly. You think they'd be smarter? Totally. Like it's shady, but it seems like you could have been smarter in the way you handled it. Lance says, I hate Red Zone. I prefer picking one game and watching it all. Red Zone's too much for me. I enjoy the build-up. Yeah, I honestly I like Red Zone a little bit. Probably not as much as my friends do. We used to set up 2 TVs, sometimes a third, but the third would usually be Red Zone. And sometimes you get like with the fantasy app, you get it beforehand. So you already know what's going to happen. It's nice at the end of games when it's a close one and they can just take you to it so you can watch the great finishes. I absolutely love that aspect of it. But we're also hearing reports they're going to have commercials now when it goes to ESPN. So that could change a little bit.
Scott Hansen's not going to say 7 hours of commercial-free football anymore.
7 hours of football with little breaks.
7 hours of NFL football brought to you by. Like, come on.
Let's get to break. I could understand if they just dropped it off, like put football to like a screen a quarter of the size and then the rest is a commercial. That would be cool. I'm fine with that, but to go right away from it, it's taking away the soul of Sunday Ticket. RBS texting in, boys, nothing beats when I had TELUS and NFL Sunday Ticket. I was flopping games play by play, clicking last on the remote. Previous 5 games I had been watching would come up. So switching between games was instant. I missed those games. Well, you can still get Sunday Ticket. I've seen it pop up on my Shaw, which I think is also Rogers now. I've debated it. Me and my dad typically split the zone, but I was not very happy with the zone last year. And he's in Australia. He's taking a vacation for a little while. So I'm really tempted to get Sunday Ticket and do exactly what you're saying, because I did the same sort of thing. It was unbelievable. That's how we set it up on 2 TVs back in the day. Good times. Rick says, call me weird, but I like just watching my team's games, going Zoom mode on the TV so I don't see the bottom ticker, then going on YouTube around 2:45 later to see game highlights for the morning games and just before the late games, the rest of the highlights. I like watching highlights and being surprised. Rick, I like that, man. That's a good way to do it. That's fun. Can't do it with fantasy football. I start getting anxious if I don't get a notification every couple of minutes, like, oh man, my teams are stinking. So I always get those notifications, but I do like that. RBS saying, I thought you could only get Sunday Ticket on YouTube now. That might be in the States, but I'm pretty sure you can get it now. Call your cable provider. I don't have all the information, but I've definitely seen it advertised. It's like $300 and something for the year. Check it out. But yeah, don't quote me on it. I've been wrong before. We'll take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk some NFL. Brian Diardo from CBS Sports will join us here. It is the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440. Also streaming on Oilers Nation, Facebook, YouTube, and X. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Started in 2006.
The year Twitter was founded.
Google bought YouTube.
We played Wii Sports.
And the Rocks opened, changing Jasper Avenue forever.
Celebrate 19 years of OTR on September 19th.
Featuring Edmonton's own The Royal Foundry.
With party band Kerr,
DJ Deadly Nedley, and DJ Kenny K.
Edmonton's biggest party started in 06 and is still rocking harder than ever.
See you September 19th.
And on the Rocks.
Jasper Ave and 118th.
Want some good news? St. Albert Dodge is holding the biggest sale of the year on their in-stock Ram 1500 Sports. Every single one on the lot is discounted by a whopping $14,000. Yeah, 14 grand. And St. Albert Dodge has the best selection in Alberta. Over 90 Ram 1500 sports to choose from with great packages, including the Night Edition and GT models, all $14,000 off the ticket price. Get down there and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Reduce fine lines and wrinkles while strengthening your hair with BioCell. It's a clinically proven, Ishura-tested product that helps in the formation of collagen. Find BioCell now at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
While the players gear up for the new season, make sure you gear up your snack game with Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Okay, this jumbo bag of beef jerky should last the preseason.
Whoa. Will Hawk has more than just beef jerky. There's smoked sausage and pepperoni products, too.
Well, how about we have jerky for Eastern opponents and pepperoni sticks when we face the Western teams?
Now that sounds like a Will Hockey game plan.
Will Hawk Beef Jerky, because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 air conditioning install company for lovers, because it's been a while since you kissed her tender lips or felt his warm embrace, because it's too hot for love. But you can rekindle that fire with AC from Legacy with no payments and no interest for 1 year. Your legacy of love will grow stronger, because with AC from Legacy, it's never too hot for love.
Need the perfect ride? The Golf Cart people have it. They offer a wide selection of new and used models from top brands like Club Car, Yamaha, and E-Z-Go. Whether it's a lifted cart for adventure or a sleek ride for the course, they'll find your match. Customize with accessories or choose a ready-to-go option. Trusted by Albertans since 1997 for quality. Visit golfcartpeople.com to find your cart and hit the road or fairway your way.
The ATB Classic is returning to Northern Bear Golf Club.
An international field of professionals will battle it out on their path towards the PGA Tour.
Advance tickets are $20 or upgrade your access to sit greenside in the Sports 1440 Birdie Bar. Presented by Sleeman.
Net proceeds go to Youth on Course to give kids age 6 to 18 access to play golf for just $5.
Come see the future stars of the PGA Tour.
The ATB Classic.
September 11th to 14th.
Get your tickets at atbclassic.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the Gregor special. Enjoy 20% off any regular price menu order. Enter promo code Gregor at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. That's promo code Gregor.
He's not just another pair of glasses. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for checking out Edmonton Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Your show here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, got Declan Kruger and Josh Fenwick keeping us on track on the AM radio, streaming on iHeart, TuneIn, Radio Player Canada, and sports1440.ca, and streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X. If you're watching on Facebook or X, YouTube, hey, give us a like. We would appreciate that greatly. The Jason Gregor Show is brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Gold Ball Jackpot tonight, $12 million with Lotto 649. Get a ticket at PlayAlberta.ca. Use your game sense. And with your deposit, use code word Gregor50. You get a free $50 bet. You could put that towards the Eagles. Maybe you're feeling an upset. Maybe Cowboys money line. It'd pay out nice. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. We'll dive into that right now and talk some NFL football with Brian Diardo of CBS Sports. He's our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Spruce Grove Saints. The Saints will unveil their brand new arena on September 19th. Get tickets to their home opener at sgsaints.ca. Exciting BCHL hockey. Brian, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
The Chargers hat. I'm sure you're happy about the Najee Harris news that he's going to play. But yeah, always doing well and looking forward to talking some football with you.
Okay, well, I'll get the selfish question out of the way because I don't know what to think about Najee Harris. I love Omari and Hampton. I know the preseason, he wasn't quite getting too many reps, but he seemed to always leave a trail of defenders behind him. Najee Harris back at practice, but he's wearing that visor. What are fair expectations for him this year coming back from that fireworks incident on July 4th?
That's a great question, and I cover the Steelers. I actually have interviewed Najee numerous times. Very interesting character, I might say. He's just very guarded. And I know this doesn't answer your question, but he's he grew up, he was in orphanages and I think has some trust issues. So I know that he kind of didn't have the greatest relationship with members of the Pittsburgh media, but I understood it because I knew where he came from. And so, but if you got his trust, he would, let you in and would kind of give you some really good nuggets. Like I got some really good stuff from him. I remember once he sounded off on me, and then 2 days later, the Steelers fired their offensive coordinator after he kind of ranted about Matt Canada. But I digress. As far as this weekend's game and what you could expect from Najee for the season, I do think he's going to play. I mean, Najee is an incredibly competitive and driven individual. He is maniacal when it comes to his diet, his training. He lauded and kind of threw a little jab at the Steelers training facility when he praised the facility the Chargers had, which is relatively new, I think. And so I think he's in phenomenal shape. If he needed any motivation going into this season with the Chargers, that eye injury gave it to him. I think he was already motivated because the Steelers didn't re-sign him. He wanted to stay in Pittsburgh. He expected to stay in Pittsburgh. They decided to go in a different direction. As far as the expectation, he has never said this. He takes it very seriously that he is the active leader in the NFL in terms of consecutive 1,000-yard rushing seasons. So I expect him to get right on that line again and to potentially crack the 1,000 yards. The million-dollar question is how much work is Amari Hampton going to get? I definitely think early in the season he's going to get the bulk of the carries. However, I wouldn't be surprised if that becomes more of a 50-50 dual load with him and Hampton. The question is going to be, how quickly does Hampton show that he's a capable blocker and pass receiver? Because those are the two things regarding running backs that are rookies that usually keeps them on the sidelines at the start of seasons.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, it's depth that the Chargers needed. Last year, it was great when they'd have J.K. Dobbins, but it fell off so quickly. To be able to go from Hampton to Najee Harris, I'm really excited to see what happens in that offense. Jim Harbaugh, two running backs like that, could be wearing teams down. We're joined by Brian Diardo from CBS Sports. So, Brian, let's look at the season getting going tomorrow night out in Philadelphia. Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. The Philadelphia Eagles, they lost some pieces, but brought in some pieces as well. What are your expectations for the Eagles going into the season?
Well, I think they're going to dismantle the Cowboys tomorrow. And I think it's Super Bowl for bust for them. And they're taking this approach this season as far as defending their championship much different than the one they had 7 years ago. So, and I didn't even know this until I saw a picture of it the other day. They had a patch in their first game after winning their first Super Bowl commemorating the championship, which is not like normal, but they did it. They're not even going to be on the field tomorrow night when they unveil their banner. So it just shows you the mentality is way different. And I think it starts obviously with Sirianni, but it's filtered down within that locker room. I mean, Jalen Hurts isn't really talking about it. He won't even wear his ring that they just got, which was delayed because there was, I guess, an issue with the manufacturer or whatever. So they're focused. They're not even looking at it as defending a title. They're looking at it as last year, we're trying to win a title for this team. I think it just depends on the health of Saquon Barkley. I mean, I think it was kind of a miracle, a minor miracle that he got through all of last season healthy. It was similar to, the year before with Christian McCaffrey. If you can get him to the Super Bowl healthy, that's just icing on the cake, right? Because running backs is such a physically demanding position. I don't know any other position in sports is as demanding as the running back position. So I think for them, I mean, they're my pick to get back to the Super Bowl, and I think that they'll face the Baltimore Ravens potentially, or the Buffalo Bills. So yeah, I mean, I think it's the sky's the limit for them.
Brian, I want to ask you about Derrick Henry. That was a nice little transition there from the Eagles to the Ravens, because in our fantasy football league that we do at the station, my co-host on Fantasy Frenzy and I took Derrick Henry. And some people are saying, hey, he's old, he's going to regress. I look at the carries, going to the second half of last season. He was ramping up. He was only getting better. He spends $250,000 on his diet and his body in preparation for the NFL season. I assume, I agree there could be some regression in his game, but I've got no reason to believe that this is the year Derrick Henry falls off.
Right, Connor. My thoughts are this. It's a very good chance he won't have the season this year that he had last year. 1,921 yards is I don't have the numbers now. I think that's probably top 10 all-time in NFL history for rushing seasons. I mean, there's been 9 guys that have rushed for 2,000. So that's probably the best non-2,000. No, that is the best non-2,000 yard rushing season ever. So that's a top 10 season. So let's say he has 1,600 rushing yards next year. That's 300 less than last year. That's still really good, right? That's probably top 30 all time. So, I agree. And you mentioned two things that I think are important. Like, yes, he's 31. He'll be 32 late in the season, like right at the end of the season. So he's obviously not a spring chicken. And we all know once running backs cross that 30-year threshold, they start to wear down. But as you said, he's putting money into his body, and the Ravens do a great job monitoring his workload. We all know Lamar Jackson runs the ball. He's the greatest rushing quarterback of all time. Sorry, Michael Vick fans. Justice Hill, they still have him, who's been just a consummate great backup. Keaton Mitchell is a stud when he's healthy. I'm a big Keaton Mitchell fan. So, to your point, and he also doesn't take a lot of direct shots, even though he's a bigger running back. Like Jerome Bettis really didn't either. So, no, I think for those reasons, you can expect him. If any running back over 30 is going to stay healthy and sustain that level of success, it's Derrick Henry.
We're talking NFL football with Brian Diardo of CBS Sports here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. Friday night down in Sao Paulo, Brazil. The Chargers going to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. And I remember the last time the Kansas City Chiefs got embarrassed in a Super Bowl. They went out, they built up that offensive line, and then went on another run. What are your expectations for KC this season?
So I know your listeners are going to like me because, it's spicy when you throw out upsets and you shake it up. But like I said, I think the Eagles are going to destroy the Cowboys. I think it'll be close for a little bit on Thursday night, but I think the Eagles will run away with it. And I think the Chiefs are going to win this game. And I think, again, so earlier I said my pick for the Super Bowl is Eagles-Ravens. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was the Bills. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the Chiefs either. Like now, if it was the rest of the field, I'd be surprised. But really, and I'm not a gambling man, but if there was a bet on the field versus in the AFC versus those three teams I just mentioned, I'm taking those three teams. I'd be shocked if another team, the Chargers should be good. The Broncos should be good. The Texans should win that division. But no, those three teams are my locks. I'd be shocked if one of those three teams did not represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. So, yeah, so to answer your question, to me, they're still one of the top three teams in the AFC. And and this is not an X and O on the field thing. This is an intangible thing. But I think in sports, the intangibles can sometimes be just as important. This team is super motivated to get back. And, it kind of reminded me of the Cowboys 30 years ago that didn't win 3 in a row, which they could have been the first team to win 3. But the thing no one remembers, and they didn't even talk about it in the documentary that just came out about the Cowboys, they were the first team to win 3 in 4 years. That's a huge accomplishment. The Chiefs can be the third team to do that. Dallas did it, and then the early 2000s Patriots did it. So I think they're very motivated to do that, and I think they would be the second team to win 4 in a 6-year span, going back to 2019. So, no, I think they're highly motivated. I think Travis Kelce is going to have a huge season this year because he wants to cap off his career on a high note. And I think Patrick Mahomes, Joe Montana just did a radio show not even mentioning him among his top 4 quarterbacks in the league. So what are we doing here? So I think if there's any team that's really good, that's motivated, it's the Chiefs. So, no, to me, they're still in that upper echelon in the AFC. I wouldn't be shocked at all if they were back in the Super Bowl.
Hey, if Joe Montana has Justin Herbert in the top 4, who am I to argue, Brian? I'm not going to argue with Joe Montana. Got to ask you about the Denver Broncos. I had a couple of questions about them. Just your thoughts in the AFC West with Bo Nix going into year 2, rejuvenated backfield, and that defense just got better.
I mean, they should be a playoff team. I mean, they were a playoff team last year, and as you know, and this is transcendent in any sport. Typically, when you have a young team, you kind of see them climb the ladder, right? The first step is making the playoffs. The next step is advancing in the playoffs. And they got better, like you said, and the running back they drafted, I like him, and their receiving core is good, and their defense is really good. My question is now, you're not going to sneak up on anybody this year. Everybody knows who you are. They're going to come at you differently, and so I'll be curious to see how Nix handles that, how Sean Payton handles that. And Sean Payton kind of comes. He is a Bill Parcells disciple. He's a tough coach. I interviewed Thomas Morstead, his longtime punter with the Saints, a few years ago, and I was like, so what was it like to play for Sean Payton? He didn't say anything bad, but it didn't seem like he missed playing for Sean Payton. So his act, I think, can really run on a team. Like John Tortorella is my example for the NHL. I know you have a big hockey following, and I'm a Blue Jackets fan, live in Columbus. Tortorella was awesome for us as far as like getting us through the first round of the playoffs. We shocked Tampa Bay, swept them, but his shtick ultimately kind of got a little old here. And so I do wonder with Sean Payton when that'll happen. But no, I think Denver, the issue for them is if they don't win that division, now you're battling with the Chargers, the Steelers, the Bengals. You're battling with all those, the Dolphins. You're battling with all those teams to just get 3 wild card spots. So, there's going to be a good team that doesn't make the playoffs in the AFC, whether that's Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Denver. It's just going to come down to which teams execute, which teams don't hurt themselves.
All right, Brian, before we let you go here, we've been talking about it with a lot of our listeners here. Sunday afternoon for you, the season gets going week 1. You'll have the 2 separate slate of games in the primetime game. What's your setup like? Are you a 2 TV guy? Do you have Red Zone going on? What's it going to be like for you?
Well, I expensed Red Zone a few years ago that asked my bosses, and I still get that email of that expense getting rejected. Literally 2 years later, I still get that email. So I don't know who I need to talk to not have that. But no, we do share a Sunday ticket at work. So if I'm not going to a game, which I usually go to about a half dozen a year, we've got the 2 TV set up. I could probably show it to you. There's one of them. There's the mothership gets the game I'm really interested in and I'm covering. So I'll be doing Steelers Jets this Sunday. And I'm, my wife's a Bengals fan. They're a good team. So I have an invested interest in them. They get the smaller 40-inch that's in storage right now that I kind of bust out. And so the sound will have the game that I'm covering on and the mothership. So that's it. I am a 2 TV guy. I've tried Red Zone. I can't do more than 2 games. More than 2 games to me is just ants running around on screen. So I don't know about you. 2 games is my max. That's all I can do. After the 1 o'clock games, I kind of just focus on 1 for the PM games. And obviously at night, you're only, my goal is to get to Sunday night, second half with a bowl of ice cream in hand and enjoying it and not covering it. So that's kind of always my reward to the end of a day of work.
I like that. I like that plan. Any schedule already for you? Which games you are going to attend this year?
Definitely doing Steelers, Bengals later in the season when the Cincinnati goes to Pittsburgh. And because of my previous allegiance to the Steelers, it's always a good idea for me to be out of the house that day. So that's the only one offhand that I know. But yeah, usually Bengals Steeler games are games I'll go to. I want to go to Steelers Packers week 8. The question is, will I be able to get home on time to watch my daughter that morning? So the answer is probably not, but we'll see how that one goes. So none in the immediate future, but down the road for sure.
Good luck with all of it. Brian, thanks so much for doing this today. We appreciate it. And maybe we'll get you on, talk some Blue Jackets later on.
If they're worth talking about, I'd love to. Yeah, great to be on with you.
There you go. Brian Diardo covers the NFL for CBS Sports. Love having Brian on joining us, and we do appreciate his time. It is the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, and Josh Fenwick with you here on Sports 1440. Also streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and X. Make sure you hit that like button if you're watching there. The comment section, always a good time. I had a good one from Bren talking about just with the Kawhi Leonard situation and cap circumvention. Isn't the messy deal with Miami similar to that? And I think he was getting part of the Apple TV broadcast, which I would assume separate from the FC Miami FC. I think a little bit different. So I'm not exactly sure. No, Inter Miami. Is it Inter Miami, Declan? Yeah, that's that. I knew that didn't sound right. I think that it might be a little bit different because there's just no connection there. And I mean, for the growth of the league, the MLS, I wouldn't say needed Messi, but they needed him more than the league and the NBA needed Kawhi to help grow the game in North America. So, or I should say America. Game's pretty big elsewhere in North America. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll get to Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. Jason Gregor should be by soon as well. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440 Oilers Nation, Facebook, YouTube, and X. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
The biggest game of the season. Your Edmonton Elks Labor Day rematch with the Calgary Stampeders on Saturday, September 6th. It's the next gen game presented by National Bank. Kids get in free with a paid adult P5 ticket and tickets start at just $20. Score yours at GoElks.com.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Reduce fine lines and wrinkles while strengthening your hair with BioSil. It's a clinically proven, Ishura-tested product that helps in the formation of collagen. Find BioSil now at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
$1 plus tax for a smooth, small premium roast coffee at McDonald's? That means rich, full-bodied flavor at a price that's just as satisfying. Must be McCafe. Enjoy a small McCafe premium roast coffee for just $1 plus tax at participating McDonald's in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. The all-new redesigned 2026 XC90 is here. Test drive the ultimate evolution in luxury. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $5,000. Finance or lease a 2026 XC40 from 2.99%. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at volvocarsedmonton.com.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
For all things golf carts, it's the Golf Cart people. Their certified techs provide expert service from maintenance to custom upgrades. Customers can explore the sales floor for new and used Club Car, Yamaha, and EasyGo models. The Golf Cart people stock a wide variety of parts and accessories to keep every ride in top shape and offer convenient rentals for tournaments, weddings, and festivals. Trusted for sales, service, parts, accessories, and rentals since 1997. Visit the Golf Cart people at golfcartpeople.com, your complete golf cart solution.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Can Torque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. You can order today at cantorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight's Lotto 649 $12 million gold ball jackpot. $12 million. Go get your ticket. PlayAlberta.ca. When you're there, you make the deposit with code word Gregor50 to get a $50 free play. PlayAlberta.ca. Use your game sense. GameSenseAB.ca. We're going to get to Jason in just a second here. But we've got the Cam Tate's 2-minute warning once that gets all loaded up. So we'll get to that before we get back to Jason Gregor as well. He'll take over from 4 till 6 here. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, and Josh Fenwick sitting in for this one. The text box, 1-833-401-1440. Brought to you by Ewell, supplying the city of champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. Ewell.ca is your partner in power. A few more texts rolling in here. We had one from Soft Roll saying, 10-team standard league, picks 2, 11, 15, 19. Go. So for me, I would say at pick 2, you're going to go Gibbs, Bijan, or Jamar Chase, depending who's there, preference. At pick 11, 15, I think if I went Gibbs or Bijan, I'm looking for a receiver. This all depends on how the draft plays out. If I go Jamar, I'm looking for a running back potentially. At pick 15 and 19, like I would debate at those picks tight end if Bowers or McBride are there. After that, though, I'm probably looking quarterback. I feel like then, if you're going to go like for a top starting lineup, if you can get a good, first 4 or 5 skill positions, depending on the league, how many receivers you're having, 2 or 3. If you can get one of the top 5 quarterbacks, which maybe they'll be gone. Maybe there's a run of them already. But if you had Lamar, Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels, Burrow, obviously Jalen Hurts, those are pretty good options. Like you got pretty good ones to go with there. So I like the options there for you. I'm jealous, man. We did 3 drafts. I kind of want to do more. I know I'd regret it immediately if I did it, and it'd be so tough to keep up with. But once you get a chance to do those drafts, man, once they get going, they are a very good time. Right now, we're going to get to Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. Of course, Cam Tate always wanted to be in radio. Unfortunately, never got the opportunity. But now, with the power of technology, he does. And this is brought to you by Action Electrical. Their 53rd year in business. Of course, the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions in project service, testing, and solar, commercial or residential. Check them out, Action Electrical. Here's another edition of Cam Tate's 2-minute warning.
Everyone and their third cousin's self-removed aunt's son-in-law's brother, who, and here's the key, Gregor, is an Edmonton Oilers fan, has weighed in on the Connor McDavid story, the one about his contract, or should we say the lack of a contract. I've tried, truly I have, to stay away from this over the summer. I've been busy. I was on a strict training regimen. It was like I was training for a marathon, but instead of running, I was doing a deep dive into the nutritional value of a hot dog. And trust me, the results are unsettling. But now it's September, baby. Training camp is just a few strong fall wind gusts away. And that's got me in the mood. You know what I mean, sweetheart? So let's get into it. I'm not saying this will happen, nor is it a hill for me to die on, especially if the hill, Connor Halley, isn't wheelchair accessible and is steeper than the toboggan hill at Government House. Now, I'll put my reporter's hat on, the fedora, the one with the questionable grease stains, and ask some questions. Could Mr. McDavid wait until the end of next season to finally make up his mind on whether he wants to sign in Edmonton? Could he want to wait and see how successful the Oilers are? Reading through the lines on that one is pretty darn easy, isn't it? Fill in the blanks, as in Stanley Cup champions. It's been cup or bust for a few seasons now. Could that very well change to cup or lose McDavid? Is that a seriously possible situation? Listen, the great UCLA basketball coach John Wooden once said, "Don't measure yourself by what you have accomplished, but by what you should have accomplished with your ability." Mr. McDavid is an ultra-competitive player who wants to win. He's said as much, time and time again. So could the motivation to win a Stanley Cup in Edmonton, knowing Mr. McDavid doesn't have a contract for the 26th, 27th season, be the missing part of the puzzle? Could this be the fire that lights the flame? The last piece of the engine? Well, you get the point. Let's drop the puck, shall we? The 2-minute warning with Gregor, Halley, and Tate. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sports 1440.
Scary thought, Tater. Like if you, the thought of Connor McDavid not signing and then just playing through this season. Because I remember that discussion with Leon Draisaitl. People were texting in, like, if you get to a certain point and there's no contract signed, do you flirt with the idea of making a trade and not losing him for nothing? I wouldn't love that. I wouldn't love to have to even consider that as a manager on that team, a coach, a fan of the team. Like, if I'm anyone in that position, I don't even want to think about that. Like, you just want to make sure you get the job done. We've hammered it home, probably every single personality on this station. Like, a place to win, Edmonton. You've been to 2 straight Stanley Cup finals. It's tough to go to 3 straight, but in the Western Conference, I don't think you'd have any other teams having a better opportunity to do so than the Edmonton Oilers. And if that team, were to take on a guy like Connor McDavid, how many more moves do they have to make? They have to clear out a lot of cap space, right? And that would significantly hurt their team. So then all of a sudden, are they still a contender to go to the Stanley Cup final? Any team around the league, I don't see it. Now, maybe in 2 years, maybe McDavid, if he were to sign a lesser deal, less term, I'm saying, not money, he opens up his options for the future. But this year, going forward, the next couple, I just think it just makes too much sense. And he said as much, like, wants to be here, wants to sign that deal, but the rush, the urgency, maybe not quite as much. We've seen him on the ice here in Edmonton, and yeah, I think it's going to be coming here. I wouldn't be too nervous about it again, but until he actually does sign it, I'm sure some people out there will be a little bit worried about that one. Mitchell texting in 1-833-401-1440. I think he's more likely to leave if they win a cup. Leaves now, he's a failure without a cup, and then just says, hockey world context. Not actually a failure, but mission wouldn't be accomplished. Yeah, I mean, if he were to do that, and that could be an option, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. I think the contract is coming. I'm not stressing it. I know we're on the 1-year anniversary of Leon Draisaitl signing his 8-year contract extension, and a lot of Oiler fans had hoped that would be maybe a way to hope it happened today, but no, I think it's going to happen sooner than later. And, what a year it could be. We got the Olympics in there as well for him, a chance to represent his country on the world's biggest stage with the best of the best tournament, and then keep it going into the NHL playoffs. Could set himself up for a really good year here. And I just don't think there's any better spot for him than with the Edmonton Oilers. A lot to get to still here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up in hour 4, Jason back in the big chair. We'll talk to Farhan Lalji from TSN. He's down in Philadelphia covering the NFL as they get ready to kick off their season tomorrow with the Cowboys and the Eagles. We'll do the Oil Report, 5 questions, spec, and more. But right now, we'll get to a Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by 01 Hockeyology. Training that improves your game at 01 Hockeyology. AI-driven treadmills, full ice drills, and data-backed coaching that will take your offseason to the next level. Sign up at 01.ca. That is ZERONE.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Anna Anisimova currently serving for the match in her quarterfinal action against second seed Iga Swiatek. The other women's quarterfinal of the day will see 11 seed Karolina Mukova and 23rd seed Naomi Osaka going at 5. In the men's draw, it was Canadian Felix Auger-Aliassime winning in 4 sets over 8 seed Alex de Minaur earlier today, and later on in about 3 hours time, we will see first seed Yannick Sinner and 10th seed Lucas Musetti. In the MLB, we have 2 games going on right now. Orioles lead the Padres 7-2 in the bottom of the 6th. Diamondbacks up 2-0 on the Rangers in the bottom of the 8th. And finals from earlier saw the Nats over the Marlins 10-5 and the Tigers over the Mets 6-2. News from the sporting world is the LA Clippers and team owner Steve Ballmer reportedly have been accused of circumventing the NBA's salary cap by paying $28 million to Kawhi Leonard for a no-show job. Pablo Torre reported today that the Clippers paid Leonard through a now bankrupt company owned by Clippers owner Steve Ballmer. And the NHL and the NHLPA ratified an extension to their collective bargaining agreement in late June, which included a playoff salary cap. According to TSN Hockey Insider Chris Johnston, the cap will be implemented immediately and take effect for the 26 Stanley Cup playoffs, meaning each team will be limited to icing a cap-compliant 20-man roster for each games. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your #1 air conditioning company. So when you can't take living in oppressive heat any longer, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If your hot, sticky sheets keep you up all night, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you've decided that you deserve to be cool and comfortable, call Legacy. Call Legacy. And with no payments, no interest for 1 year, it could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Reduce fine lines and wrinkles while strengthening your hair with BioSil. It's a clinically proven, Ishura-tested product that helps in the formation of collagen. Find BioSil now at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. It's not lost on me that this radio ad competes with a lot of other dealerships on the air. So what sets us apart? Honesty. At Northgate, we believe in giving you the very best price we can with the most value possible. We aren't giving away free trips or paying off your credit cards, but it is my promise you will get exactly what you paid for every time. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Noodle, 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 noodle. Noodle, 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 noodle. Noodle, 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 noodle.
Promo down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
At Fountain Tire, you can save $50 off tire storage with the purchase of 4 select tires now until September 30th at participating locations. Okay. Or you could squeeze them into your backseat, possibly causing upholstery damage, drive them home, struggle, sweating buckets trying to get them out of your vehicle, resulting in you feeling guilty for not going to the gym more often, or at all. But at the end of the day, it's your choice. Totally up to you.
Definitely $50 off the tire storage.
You got it. Book your appointment today at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation Mighty Millions Lottery bonus prize deadline is September 12th. Go top shelf to score the Oilers in $75,000 bonus prize. Lower bowl Oilers season seats plus $75,000 cash. You're also in to win the Porsche Paris early bird and the $2.5 million grand prize. A luxury show home in Cameron Heights. Hurry. Bonus prize deadline is September 12th. Be mighty. Buy your tickets now at MightyMillionsLottery.com.
What's your vision for your team jerseys? Firefighters have the gear they need, and community kitchen fridges stay full. It's why we give back millions every year through grants. When your community succeeds, we all do. With Vision. Vision Credit Union. We see. Learn more at visioncu.ca.
Athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuffs and tears to tendonitis, post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 4 o'clock. Welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Big thanks to the con man. Just had to clear up some family stuff. We'll chat about that tomorrow. Today's not the day to chat about it, but we'll definitely mention it on tomorrow's show. Coming up, Farhan Lalji is going to join us, talk some CFL. We got Spec. We got a lot of texts coming in, 833-401-1440, 1440. Of course, the Gregor Show, always presented by PlayAlberta.ca. And right now, hey, NFL season is right around the corner, and improved odds for all the North American leagues, including the NFL, which gets going tomorrow. So lots of usability improvements on the sportsbook, easier access to promotions, and of course, even more convenient than ever with the new app. So check it out, playalberta.ca, or just download the app today. And we will talk some CFL coming up with Farhan momentarily. I think we might have him. So we got him. Okay, perfect. Let's get to our big guest of the day. Brought to you by the Spruce Grove Saints. And on the 19th of September, 2 weeks this Friday, they will unveil their brand new arena in St. Albert and the season opener. So great day for hockey. And man, Spruce Grove fans are going to be a little spoiled with that new facility. It looks unreal. So get your tickets at sgsaints.ca. Check it out. As Farhan Lalji from the CFL on TSN joins us. Farhan, welcome back to the show, my man. How you doing?
Good, Jason. Just sitting in my hotel room in Philly, getting ready for the game tomorrow.
Ooh, well, we're going to talk a little CFL and NFL with you, but I want to recap the weekend that was. It was interesting. I had Cody Fajardo on the show yesterday, and I always like talking to Cody because he's very honest, he's very insightful. And in that game, it was the first game all season that I'd seen Cody throw over guys' heads on like a regular basis. And he was telling, he says, man, it's stupid of you to pick it out because obviously, now I've been on the turf. I kind of forgot about it, how kind of angled the turf is. And he says he's always struggled in Calgary. It's not an excuse, but it's just, he's getting frustrated because when you're in the middle of the field, by the time you throw it to the sidelines, like it kind of drops off a little bit. Have you talked to other guys about that field? Because it's not the only one. I remember the old Houston Stadium in the NFL was the same thing. And guys used to airmail it all the time.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I think it's incredibly minor. There's not a big crown there, if that's what you're talking about for drainage purposes. It's quite small. It was reduced at one point. Like when I'm there, I almost can't notice it at all, right? I mean, I remember growing up, like the Empire Stadium days way back when there was a massive crown and soccer players would actually play the crown on their passes where you could aim it in and it would curve back out. And I don't think it's that significant. I think the Calgary defensive line is probably a little bit more significant. I think Cody was dealing with more pressure than he has been since he came back into the starting role. And, sometimes when you're stepping back, and Cody's got a really high, long, kind of loopy delivery. And now when he's trying to not just, work through any kind of field adjustments, but just try to throw over defensive linemen as opposed to having some cleaner throwing lanes. I think it's a bigger deal than necessarily a field crown.
The Elks, I thought in the first half really kind of shot themselves in the foot. And I think Coach Killam's frustration showed like they were in that game. That game at bare minimum should have been tied. And like I can't remember the last time I saw a guy in motion run into the snap. Like that doesn't happen very often. Like they'd been moving down the field pretty easily and that crushed them. I didn't love the play call in 2nd and 3 early in the first half that they got stuffed. And then they had the pass interference with 14 seconds to go. Like the Elks really, kind of were their own worst enemy at times, but it kind of still shows that, the difference between them and Calgary is obviously Calgary's very good. And I think the big difference I noticed, Farhan, was the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball was clearly an advantage Calgary.
Yeah, no question. And then you're right. Like those moments where it's funny because you weren't the only one. There were others who criticized Jordan McSimic for running there on 2nd and 3. And I'm thinking, wow, he's been criticized the entire year for not running the football enough. And now he runs it in 2nd and 3 and he's going to get criticism. But yeah, I mean, the snap was so unfortunate. You could see Cody's frustration after the play.
Yeah.
And you don't have a lot of margin for error because quite honestly, like, yes, I want to give Edmonton's defense a bit of credit. But I think that, looking at that game, I think it was off. So you had an opportunity to really take advantage of a quarterback that wasn't at his best. You couldn't make him pay with turnovers. Early in that game, like when you look at what blew the game open, it was the Brooks kick return for a touchdown, which you don't expect to happen on a Mark Killam coach team because their special teams are always dialed in. So they had opportunities in the first half to play with the lead. Calgary was just able to stay ahead regardless for a number of factors, as you mentioned. And, eventually they were able to pull away. But the game was certainly a lot closer than the score would indicate. I do agree with you there. But, yeah, I mean, when you look at what's happening with Calgary up front, their defensive line is awesome. They're playing with they've got 7 guys that rotate through and are all noticeable. I called their game in Saskatchewan, and there's guys getting sacked that weren't even on the roster on the 2 deep, right? Like they're that deep. So I think defensively they're going to give everybody trouble, and offensively I'm surprised at how consistently good that offensive line has been all season long. Because when you look at it man for man, this is clearly a case where the sum is greater than the whole of its parts.
Speaking of offensive line, it's a huge addition for the Elks to get Carter O'Donnell. That's
no question.
Their O-line has struggled, man. He's going to be a dominant Canadian on the O-line.
We hope so, right? And I say that only because he hasn't played for a while. And you could look at a guy like Brent Boyko, who went through a similar thing in BC. And I don't know that he's ever really been a dominant offensive tackle in this league, right? But when he came in, everyone expected great things, but he hadn't played meaningful game, live rep football for a long time. You can't always assume that a guy, just because he's been in the NFL, is going to come back and be great. It doesn't always work that way. And I think it will with Carter O'Donnell. And I think he'll be an upgrade, and I can't imagine it'll take that long for them to get him into the lineup. I don't know if you heard anything about him playing this week or not.
He is going to dress Farhan. I don't know how many snaps he's going to play, but he's going to be on the roster.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe he comes in as the 6th offensive lineman and then eventually works into the starting lineup the following week, or maybe he does start. I don't know. But if he lives up to what we thought he was going to be, he'll certainly make Edmonton significantly better, and good for Ed Hervey and his old university coach, Chris Morris, for finding a way to get that done.
Farhan Lalji joins us. Farhan, as a coach, can you understand or figure out why the Elks D-line just can't get pressure on a consistent basis and can't get sacks?
I can't. You know what? And that has been the biggest question. For all the improvements they've made in other areas of their team, even with the injuries at linebacker, they've been able to, with DeBlanco, they've been able to kind of get by and improve. The secondary has improved. But I don't get it, especially when you got a guy like Jake Serezna. Now, he got injured again in that game, so we'll see, what that's going to look like for them. But, I mean, he hasn't been a dominant force at all this year. So I don't get it, because they've got some good players, and those were some of their biggest additions. I know Robbie Smith's been in and out, but, Robbie Smith's never been an 18-game dominant guy, right? He's not that. He's a rotational player and tends to come up big at big moments in big games. But I don't get it, because when I watch them closely, I don't know that they're doing different things or using different techniques, and they've got a good defensive line coach that's there. So it has baffled me all season long.
Yeah, it's definitely been on. Now let's switch to the NFL. Of course, it kicks off this weekend. For a fan of football, it's unreal. Now I got 2 leagues to watch. Obviously, if you're a college fan, there's lots to watch there. So it's football mania if you like it. Got junior football going on at the same time here in Edmonton, and obviously U Sports. So football fans have no shortage of options. But the NFL is big from a fan perspective to a league perspective. Let's start with the Eagles, and how dominant do you expect them to be this year?
I think they're going to be really good. I think they're going to run away with their division. I think they've got every opportunity to win the NFC again. Howie Roseman, when you look at how he did his last title defense 6 years ago versus now, it's entirely different. And they lost so many pieces that year. They relied on Nick Foles, and you didn't know at some point that, Foles, you didn't think that was sustainable. Whereas Jalen Hurts is a little bit different. They got 10 of 11 starters back on the offensive side of the ball. They just added John Mechie to deepen out their receiving group. They did lose some pieces defensively along the line and in the secondary, but they've got good players waiting, because they've really hit on their draft picks in the last couple of years. You look at a guy like Jahad Campbell, who was the number one pick for them in the first round out of Alabama. He's going to start at inside linebacker next to Zach Bond. He's been so good in training camp, and he looks like, like he's good against the run and the pass. He graded out so well in those areas. Not a lot of deficiencies there. So somehow they've kept all their key pieces, and they're the second youngest team in the NFL, Jason. So this is going to continue for a while, because when you're that young, it means you're also dealing with a lot of rookie contracts, which helps you. They've got their quarterback paid, so I think they're in really, really good shape. And consider this, okay? The NFL just named their top 100 active players. There were 9 Eagles on that list, by far the most in the league. And they had 2 offensive linemen that got picked, and Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens didn't. And those are Pro Bowl type players. So think of how stacked that group is up front, right? Like, they are really, really good. And I don't see a path for them to struggle and fail. Unless Saquon Barkley gets hurt. I don't know what's going to cause this team to stumble at any point. And, will they win the Super Bowl again? I don't know, but my money's on them getting back there.
Yeah. Well, you look at it, and here's the thing. We've kind of seen it. You look at the NHL, the same 2 teams have been there back to back. And in the previous years, Tampa Bay was there lots. Like, they've been 3 in a row, Florida. When you become a good team, it's kind of like when you're a bad team. You can be a bad team for a long time, and the good teams stay at the top. The Chiefs have done it. The Patriots did it for almost 2 decades, and the Eagles are right there. In the NFC, who do you see it right now? And obviously injuries can change everything, Farhan, but is there another team in the NFC that you like second best? Is it Detroit still?
I like Detroit, right? I think they're going to be there. Getting Aiden Hutchinson back, because he missed pretty much all of last year, is going to be a big deal for them. But they did lose both coordinators, and I think there's going to be some adjustment. For me, the number 2 team in that conference right now is Green Bay, right? Like, everyone's expecting Washington to ascend. I think they might stumble a little bit without Robinson, but they're going to stay up there. Like, they're not going to drop off. They're going to be a playoff team, and they're going to get theirs, and they're going to get to a Super Bowl within the next few years. And I like Detroit still, but I really like Green Bay. And the fact that you've added Micah Parsons to that group and the pieces that they've got, I think Jordan Love is ready to take the next step. So I think they're the biggest team that's going to be able to compete with Philadelphia. And I was asked that today. I'm like, okay, if you're the Cowboys, you're probably feeling pretty good about not having to face Micah Parsons twice, but now you probably get him once when he's playing for Green Bay, and that happens in January, and that's going to be a big stakes game. So you might not see him as much, but you might see him when it matters more.
Yeah. What about the Chiefs?
They're better. They really are. They've made improvements along their offensive line. When you look at where they were at receiver going into the season, I know they're dealing with the Rashee Rice suspension, but Xavier Worthy is going to be a year old, or Hollywood Brown's available. Like, their running backs are healthy now, right? Pacheco was never himself. He now is himself. And, I think along the defensive side of the ball, they're no worse, right? Like, they lost one safety, but they've got other guys kind of ready to go. So the fact that they won a lot of 1-score games is causing people to say that they're finally going to stumble and take a step back. They can't do that. They're not going to need to win 1-score games, because I think their offense is going to be really, really good again, a lot better than they were a year ago.
Farhan Lalji from TSN joins us. Farhan, what do you make of Green Bay and Dallas in that trade? Like, we're hearing now that, there's a little bit of maybe injury potentially here involved, and so Green Bay clearly got the better player today, but Dallas got Clark and they got 2 first-rounders. What do you make of the deal if you take a step back? Do you think it's still a clear win for Green Bay, or is there reason to believe that Dallas did all right?
No, I think it's a clear win for Green Bay. I think Jerry Jones is just trying to spin. Kenneth Clark is coming off the worst year of his career, right? Statistically, he was way down. I know he was dealing with a bit of a toe injury, but the last time he was that unproductive was his rookie season when he wasn't a full-time starter. And if Micah Parsons, and I know there's a bit of a back thing, they're talking about him maybe using an epidural to play in the game this week. He is going to play for sure, probably going to be on a bit of a pitch count. So we'll see how long the back injury lingers. It doesn't sound like it will from everything I've heard. It might take a couple of weeks, but he'll eventually be full speed, and he'll make them so much better. And if he makes them that much better, that number 1 pick is going to be like 28, right? Like, your first-round pick next year is going to be 28th overall. It's not going to be, at the top of the draft, like what Dallas dealt with the Herschel Walker piece and things like that. So, and it's 2 picks. It's not, think of the haul they got in the Herschel Walker trade back then with the number of picks and players. So I think Jerry's spinning it. I think this is a clear win for Green Bay. Look, if something happens and Micah Parsons needs back surgery and misses a season, we're having a different conversation, but nothing I've heard leads me to believe that's going to be the case.
Lastly, Farhan, switching over because we're a week away from rookie camp and 2 weeks away from training camps beginning. What's your expectations for the Canucks, and what is this a big year for the organization? Like, is there concern at all about Quinn Hughes, or because he has 2 years, it's way too early to even be considering worrying about it?
No, I think the entire market and franchise is totally concerned about Quinn Hughes. And I kind of believe Quinn Hughes when he says, look, I'm not making any decisions quite yet. But look, I think if you're Rick Tocchet, one of the reasons you left is that you didn't have certainty that Quinn Hughes was going to be there. So there's huge concern because he is an elite player. And when he's healthy, he's as good, if not better, than any other defenseman in the league. And so, yeah, it does matter. Is it a big year? I'm not sure what that means. It's not like the franchise is gonna up and fold, but certainly you want to make an impression on Quinn Hughes to try to keep him. The last 2 years for the Canucks have been polar opposites. They were crazy healthy 2 years ago. They were crazy injured this past year. A lot's going to hinge on Thatcher Demko and whether he can stay healthy, and obviously Elias Pettersson if he can take a step forward. I know that his trainer posted yesterday just how good his offseason body of work has been, and I don't think Elias Pettersson is going to show up here and be a 100-point player again, but could they get him back to being a point-a-game guy? Like, they need that guy to show up. 45 points in 62 games is not good enough when you're paying a guy 11.6. So, they want to make an impression on Hughes, and it starts with those other two players. Demko staying healthy. They've got Lankin in there that they can properly manage the workload. Because if Demko's healthy, he keeps them in every game. And if Pettersson can be a point-a-game player, it'll make some people around him better. So I don't expect them to be, they'll be somewhere in the middle. Do I expect them to be as bad as they were a year ago? No. Do I expect them to win the division and be as good as they were 2 years ago? No. It'll probably fall somewhere in the middle, and they'll be fighting for the final playoff spot in the division or in the conference.
Well, Farhan, enjoy Philly and enjoy the weekend. Always love the rematches of Labor Day and the CFL. Should be fun to watch. Appreciate your time.
Hey, and there were great crowds. The biggest thing for me, like 2 great games and 3 great crowds last weekend. Let's see Edmonton do the same this weekend.
No, I'm hearing it's going to be the biggest crowd of the year in Edmonton. So I think
awesome.
I might push to 28,000, maybe even more. So and you know what,
Amazing.
the weather is going to be unreal. And so they also, I don't know if you know about this, Farhan, but this is the first year of what's going to become an annual event in Edmonton. They're going to have it's kind of like a mini Spirit of Edmonton. They're having the Labor Day rematch brunch, and it starts at 11. And it's got like all the sluice juice, everything that you would have at the Spirit of Edmonton. And so that's a new thing that's unveiled this year. So
I hope you're hosting all of it.
Well, I will be there. I'm not hosting it, thankfully. I just get to partake. So Sports 1440, right. We have a table, so we'll be there. We'll be a lot of fun.
Thanks, Tal. Enjoy it.
Yeah. All right. There you go. That's Farhan Lalji from TSN. Yeah, that's going on Saturday. It should be a lot of fun. There's a few guys at the station that are a little rattled that they're unable to attend. Not by choice. They got invited, but can't make it. Tisk. So hopefully we'll see a lot of you there on Saturday. I know they have a few seats left. Get in if you're looking for some fun times. If you've ever been in the Spirit of Edmonton, you know what it's about. It's going to be a great time. And this is the first one, and it's going to happen all the time. I know they've got they're going to have some alumni that are going to be there for Q&A and have some fun on stage like that. I think Eddie Steele will be there. The question is, will Eddie Steele be wearing a muscle shirt? That's really the question I have. I would assume he has his own special logoed green and gold muscle shirts. I just have to think he would have one. So should be fun. 4:20, we'll come back. We got 5 questions coming up, Spec and more. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
It's the Brick's famous tent sale. Save up to 60% off clearance items in the tent and store, with more amazing deals arriving daily in every department. Like up to $1,800 off power reclining sectionals and up to $700 off big screen TVs. Buy more, save more when you buy 2 or more major appliances, up to $1,000 off. Plus, get a free Bluetooth party speaker when you spend $9.99 or more on furniture. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
I'm a little hungry.
I've got Booster Balls from Booster Juice.
Booster what now?
Booster Balls. They're little protein bites packed with nutrients. Chewy, crunchy, yummy, and new flavors all the time. Like this little guy. The new mint chocolate Booster Ball. Peppermint, cocoa, coconut, peanut butter, maple syrup, all rolled up into a delightful little bite-sized snack.
Why am I just hearing about this now?
I don't know.
Can I have one?
No.
Booster Juice. Canadian born. Blending since 1999. Reduce fine lines and wrinkles while strengthening your hair with BioSil. It's a clinically proven, Ishura-tested product that helps in the formation of collagen. Find BioSil now at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. The all-new redesigned 2026 XC90 is here. Test drive the ultimate evolution in luxury. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $5,000. Finance or lease a 2026 XC40 from 2.99%. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at volvocarsedmonton.com.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
RV Wars are back this weekend. 4 of the largest dealers in Western Canada are hosting a massive year-end RV show and sale at the Premium Outlet Mall by the Edmonton International Airport. Arcan RV, Travelland RV, Fraserway RV, and Go RV will be on site, clearing out all remaining stock. Shop early for best selection. Inventory is limited. Special finance rates, no payments for 6 months, and free winter storage. Don't miss out. Visit rvwars.ca.
It's happened again, and construction season is in full swing. Job delayed, money lost, and clients disappointed because your rigging failed and it wasn't inspected. Don't let this happen to you. Have your lifting slings, fittings, hoisting tools, and safety harnesses checked with Titan Supply. Titan Supply offers certified on-site and in-house rigging inspections and service, so they can repair it, replace it, and recertify it. Titan Supply in Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary, and at titansupply.ca. Lift, dig, haul.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. On the Rocks is celebrating 19 incredible years at their iconic location and want to celebrate with you. Join them September 19th for an incredible night of live music and so much more on therocksyeg.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.425. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger along, running things on the YouTube and Facebook, X and Instagram. Many of you texting us, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregor, where can I find more info on the Elks game and the events taking place before? Thinking of taking the fam. I don't see much on their website from Sean. Sean, it's right on the website. Just click on Community tab and you'll see it right there. It says Labor Day Rematch Brunch. And then it explains everything. That they have a whole list describing you can get individual tickets, you can get a table, and away you go. It's loads of fun. So check it out. Just go to goelks.ca and they have a bunch of tabs. It's right on the community one. So yes, if it was me running the site, I'd have it boom right up on the front page. It's not my site. So, but yes, I would agree. That's what I'd want, but it's right on the community link. And once you hit it, you'll see it. It's great. So, hey, Greggs, do you think, how hurt is Parsons? Would you be concerned if you're Green Bay? Well, I'm not a doctor, but I'll say this. He had to take a physical for the trade to go through, and he passed the physical. So the ailment that he has is obviously nothing that Green Bay is that concerned about. So I guess I would go with that. Hey, con man. So I guess it's a slight concern, but it's something that they knew he had before.
Yeah, I mean, he's limited participation, so kind of working through it. I think Farhan kind of nailed it. There'll probably be some sort of injection to make sure he's good to go. It would be something and added a little wrinkle to the storyline if there was this injury in the Dallas Cowboys. That was part of the reason they maybe didn't want to give him that big money, but I wouldn't be too concerned about it at this point. It's not like he's out. He's out there on the field. He's taking parts limited reps, so I think he's going to be good to go for the Pack.
Hey, guys, where can I bet Hughes doesn't resign in Vancouver? Good as gone, JP. I don't think they have that. But see, it's interesting because now if I ask an Oilers fan today, what's the thing that irks them the most right now? Is listening to other fans tell you that you're going to lose your best player, right? You hate it. You don't want to think about it. So you probably shouldn't be setting that to Vancouver fans. Now, unless you're doing it because you're like, well, I feel bad, so I want someone to wallow in the same fate as I. But I do think it's a little bit different for a few reasons. Edmonton's had they have had massive success. No one's had more success in the Western Conference the last 2 years than the Edmonton Oilers. There's only one team in the league that's had more success than the Edmonton Oilers. And it's really not that close. Right? So that part's good for them. Vancouver, Quinn Hughes's, last few seasons, there's been lots of drama. Now, we'll see with the JT Miller trade. Does that quiet it down? I've argued a lot of the Vancouver drama is self-inflicted. Their organization seems to stir their own drama at times. Hey, trust me, when the Oilers were terrible, they had a lot of their own drama. We talked about it. So this is not me just, pointing fingers at Vancouver, but I'm just saying in Vancouver, a lot of their own drama is self-inflicted, sadly. So that, I think, needs to change. So you can get rid of one player, but I think they're naive if they think that was the only factor in their dysfunction in Vancouver. Not at all. But, I can understand it, people being concerned. Now, there is a slight difference, whether you like it or not. Some Americans, they don't like playing Canada. Now, Hughes has been in Canada, he's had a lot of success. He likes it there. But, he's got 2 brothers in the league. And you're hearing now Luke Hughes in New Jersey, they're at a little bit of an impasse in their negotiations. The latest report I read was they're thinking maybe a bridge deal where the Hughes camp is at, and the Devils are like, well, maybe we'd like 8. And they're like, well, maybe we can get 5. So it coincides with Jack, and it ends at the same time. And I don't know. I think it's tough business if you think that, okay, you know what, we're all going to play with our brothers together. That's nice in theory. I'm not sure how realistic it is in practicality. Right? Now, I know the Sedins did, but they were drafted by the same team, so they just stayed there. Fine. So, Jack and Luke, they came in at different times. They play different positions. It's not like they're on the ice with this, twin reading each other's mind that it seemed like the Sedins did at times. So it is different. But I don't know. How often the Stahl brothers play together? It would be nice. Don't get me wrong. I get it. But I don't know if you necessarily want to build everything around, well, I just want to play with my brother. Because it's probably going to limit where you go and at what time you can go there. So see how that goes. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregor, didn't the Canucks GM say something about trying to get the brothers to play together? Am I delusional? No, Trey, he was asked and he said that, and then people were like, oh my God, they're going to get fined. And I thought the comment was just, answering a question. I don't think it was tampering by any stretch of the imagination. It would be foolish to not think, hey, that's something they'd probably like. So yeah, we'd think about it. It doesn't mean we're actively doing it. 2 different things, right? Thinking about it, actively doing it, very different, especially when you look at the contracts of them. Now, Luke Hughes doesn't have a contract. Could Vancouver trade for him? I guess. But what do they have to offer? That would be a fantastic one. If we look at it right now and you say, okay, the New Jersey Devils were going to trade Luke Hughes just for fun in a what-if trade situation. Well, what are the Canucks going to offer? Right? You can't tell me it's Elias Pettersson because it's way too much money. Right? Brock Besser just signed. Now Jake DeBrusk has I got to look, but I'm pretty sure he has no movement clause. So Kane's got 1 year. That wouldn't be enough. You look on their back end, it probably would have to be Philip Roenick, I would think. Automatically, maybe. Right? If you're the Devils and you're trading Luke Hughes, you're going to want something in return. Now, maybe it would be the young Elias Pettersson, the defenseman. Now, he wouldn't be the main piece, but maybe he'd be someone involved in it. So, you know what? When RFAs, the longer they go and they don't have a contract, here's the truth, though. Luke Hughes doesn't have a lot of bargaining power. He's an RFA who has no arbitration rights. There's no offer sheet coming. So, how strong can you negotiate? Because if you're the Devils, maybe he'll get upset and you'll wait. But is he going to sit out the whole year? And if he ends up with a lower contract, that just makes him easier to trade. So I'll be curious to see, where that goes. Rossi's in the same boat. Isn't it interesting now that it's, you're a few weeks away from camp and you got some RFAs. Like Connor McDavid has a contract. He's coming to camp. You're talking his next contract. Very different than talking 2 weeks from now type of contract. And that's where the to me the interesting part comes in for a lot of these teams is how are they going to get these guys? Usually it comes down to kind of last wire. They're negotiating. You're always trying to get what you want. But at the end of the day, maybe you settle for less. Maybe you settle for a little bit more term. We'll see. There's McTavish still. There's Hughes. There's some pretty good players. Rossi. So I'll be curious to see. I would guess. I'm not sure many of them benefit from. Now, I should say the team doesn't benefit either when a player misses training camp. Ask Bruins fans, how did Jeremy Swayman do last year? Missing camp. And he signed right before the start of the regular season, but he was out of training camp. Right? Remember when Willie Nylander? God, I still laugh. Oh my God, the comeback player of the year. Are you freaking kidding me? Right? The guy held out. And then some jabroni wanted to put him up for the comeback player of the year. It's unreal. Oh, awesome perseverance. Still laugh about that one. But look at the year he had. Not great. It's just, and these are young players. It's not an older player who you can say, well, maybe they're a little tired, maybe they're a little slower. No, these are young guys in their prime. It just shows you how difficult it is to try to play catch up in the NHL. The elite guys probably can get away with it because they're elite. So even if they drop down a few percentage points, they're still higher than most. Right? And Nylander's good. He's not elite. So I would think I'm those young guys. I want to get in camp. I want to get signed. Hey guys, how does it work with RFAs not being signed before training camp? Well, they don't go to camp. Right? Well, I'm trying to think. As a player, no, you never go to camp. In the old days, I think some did, but this is different than the NFL where guys are in camp because they're trying to renegotiate a new contract, which is something that can't happen in the NHL. So no, if you don't have a contract, you don't go to camp. Some guys end up skating with NCAA teams or U Sport teams, somebody who's closer home. That's what happens. But unsigned means you're not on the ice. Hey, Greg, do you have any idea on who would take Hyman's spot if he's not ready? And how concerned should we be about Hyman? Thanks, Nick. Well, Zach Hyman said he's going to do everything to be ready. The fact that he's talking about it's a possibility he might not be ready, I guess you can be a little concerned. And really, you probably have to be realistic about what type of season you think Zach Hyman's going to have. How long is it going to take him? So if he's saying that he's not sure he's ready to start the regular season, then I know for a fact it's impacted his offseason training. That's just a fact. To what level? I don't know yet. I haven't spoke to him. Probably chat with him on Friday maybe. But it will be an impact. It just is. So it's a shorter offseason. And then it's one where when you're rehabbing and recovering from an injury, it's the worst, right? Well, I should say from a surgery. He had surgery right at the end of the season on such a weird, freakish, didn't even kind of almost look like, really a nothing play, unfortunately for him, but turned into be a very serious play. But when you look at Hyman, and I would say if he's not there to start, then he's a right winger. Now, you can have some left guys play there, but Matt Savoy, I think and I've always said, my biggest wild card for Oilers training camp is Tomasek. It's not even close. He's 29, so he's not a rookie by NHL rookie standards, but he's a first-year player. I know it's the same thing, but it's different. He cannot qualify for Rookie of the Year, so he's not deemed a rookie. But he's a first-year player, just due to age. And he led the Swedish Elite League in scoring last year. He led the Swedish Elite League in goals 2 years ago. He's got some skill. But is it transferable to the NHL? I have no idea. I have never seen him play a live game. I watched a few of his games online, but I've never seen a game live. So I don't know. I'm intrigued. He's, the scouting report, very smart player. And hockey sense, it's good. Skates well enough. Some guys aren't sure, if I'm being realistic, you're like, hey, he's probably a third line guy who maybe could moonlight and be a second line player at times. Or he can surprise a lot of us. We'll find out. But he would be the wild card if Hyman's not going to go. And we'll find out. So if Hyman isn't sure he's ready for the start of the season, is he going to? I don't see him playing the first 4 or 5 preseason games then. Right? We'll see. But I don't know if you have to be that concerned, but it maybe slightly. I think more so it's what type of season do you expect from Zach Hyman? Coming off an injury, probably have to lower the expectations. Hey, Greg, do you think the Oilers will sign anyone to a PTO? I think yes. There's an opportunity there, but here's the thing. Look at the Oilers right now. If I'm a player and I'm going to sign a PTO in Edmonton, what would I sign? So you'you've got Draisaitl, and you've got McDavid, and you've got Hyman, and you've got Nugent Hopkins, you got Frederick and Mangiapane. There's 6 forwards. Then you got Henrique and Janmark and Kapanen, Tomasek, Podkolzin, Howard, Savoy, Lazar. There's 14. And I'd even mention Noah Philp or Jones, who thinks that maybe he's got a chance. So really, you can argue there's 16 guys. Now, I don't think Jones has much of a chance, but let's just put him in there anyway. Did play in the NHL last year. So if you're a right shot winger, a centerman, and there's really none out there. I've looked. I don't see any there. So if you're a winger, there's no top 6 wingers right now that I view like a legitimate top 6 winger who could say, hey, you know what? If Hyman's not ready, I could come in here and have a good camp and get a spot. I don't see it. And then you go in defense. We know that the 5 spots for sure, Bouchard, Ekholm, Nurse, Wallman, Kulak, lock him in. Then you've got Emberson and Stetcher. And then the wild card on the back end is Alex Regula. So if you were making a case, and it's rare, but would Samsonov come on a PTO? Kevin Woodley's told us he doesn't think his style is a great fit here. Georgiev, he's the one guy who he thinks has potential to get back to who he was. Would he come? Maybe. But the Oilers could bring a PTO in. I'm just not sure there's one that's a great fit, if I'm being honest. So I could see it doing it for numbers, right? This is the last year, thank goodness, of 8 preseason games. So there is the numbers game where, hey, you sign a veteran. Now he's going to give you another number of a veteran player. And that would, in turn, allow, Zach Hyman, if he's not playing, less time. So that's a good problem. Quick break. We'll come back. We got 5 questions, lots more text. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The biggest game of the season, your Edmonton Elks Labor Day rematch with the Calgary Stampeders on Saturday, September 6th. It's the next gen game presented by National Bank. Kids get in free with a paid adult P5 ticket, and tickets start at just $20. Score yours at GoElks.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 air conditioning install company for lovers, because it's been a while since you kissed her tender lips or felt his warm embrace, because it's too hot for love. but you can rekindle that fire with AC from Legacy with no payments and no interest for 1 year. Your legacy of love will grow stronger because with AC from Legacy, it's never too hot for love.
Ah, Hawaii. The warmth of a golden sunset as the waves roll in. The freshness of a waterfall. The lush scent of tropical flowers in the air. You don't need to travel to enjoy all Hawaii has to offer. You just need to order pizza. Bring Hawaii home with the Aloha Trio, available for a limited time at Papa John's. Try our classic Hawaiian, super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken for just $19.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe that life shouldn't hurt. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't know that sometimes it really hurts. I mean, we've seen people at their worst moments in life, when they feel they have nowhere to turn, or at a time when they felt like their problem just wouldn't ever go away. We've also seen people who thought to themselves, it'll just go away on its own, or this is no big deal. I don't want to bother anyone about this. Don't know where to turn to, or think it's no big deal. Either way, we have the technology, techniques, and skills to help you get back to it, whatever your it may be. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks. Ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
It takes grit. It takes heart. It's the legendary Canadian Finals Rodeo, powered by ATV. From October 1st to 4th in Edmonton, the nation's best go head-to-head in a battle of pure willpower. Witness the raw strength and adrenaline at Rogers Place. Plus, soak up the Western lifestyle at the Canadian Country Expo, with free admission and shuttles running between the expo and the arena. This is more than a rodeo. It's a showdown. Get your tickets now at CFR.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Elks Nation, 2 weekly podcast with Eddie Steele and Declan Kruger, breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth Double E football coverage on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcasts.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.445, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Cougar, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Of course, live on YouTube, X, Facebook. Thanks for watching on Oilers Nation or Sports 1440. We got dual feeds in this show. It's fantastic. So we love it. Just more opportunities for you to watch and listen. The show, I know many of you have the app as well. When you're far out of Edmonton, it's crystal clear. So get the radio player app. Fantastic. Takes you anywhere across the country, even into the U.S. if you have 5G. So there you have it. Now, I like this text from King of Fort Nasty. Hey, guys, of all the guys in the studio, only Greg's would know what a PTO is, power takeoff. I like it. It is true. That's a little bit of a farm thing. But I like that play on words on the PTO. So I did ask Cons and Declan. But they looked it up, and now they know what a PTO is. Power takeoff, Con man? Now you know.
Google it. Yeah, not the software company in Denver.
No, not at all. So it's good to know. Now you learn something. Now you can go home and say, I know what a power takeoff is. So It's a good sign. It's a good sign. Let's get to 5 questions. Oh, speaking of power takeoff, playalberta.ca. All new, revamped, ready for better odds for all the new leagues. NFL, NLB, NHL when it gets going, but NFL tomorrow. So check it out, playalberta.ca. Let's get to 5 questions now, brought to you by The Brick. As the tent sale continues here for the next 2 weeks. $1,100 off sofas and sectionals. You can get 60% off genuine leather sofas when you buy the matching love seat or chair. And many other deals right now at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, question number 1 for you today. Power rankings in the CFL. Who are your top 3 teams, and where would you rank the Elks?
Oh, top 3 teams. I would have. Do you want them in order or just who are my top?
You can go in order if you'd like.
I would have Saskatchewan, Calgary, and I think Winnipeg. Still, so I'd have those.
I laugh because I had the same thing. I might alternate Calgary as the top team, Sask 2, and then Winnipeg 3. But yeah, I'm with you. The Western Conference right now is certainly a tough spot to be in if you're not one of those 3 teams. Question number 2 for you. We'll keep the NFL questions going as the season kicks off tomorrow. Right now, who's your pick for MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, and Defensive Player of the Year?
Go ahead.
My MVP is going to be Lamar Jackson. My Offensive Player of the Year will be Jahmyr Gibbs, and my Defensive Player of the Year, I'm going to go Will Anderson with the Houston Texans. I think he's going to break out this season, even more so than he already has.
All right. Going with Lamar, eh? Well, Lamar,
Yeah.
I like Lamar.
Bounce back from what? He was a hell of a player last year. I just think he'll supersede expectations.
Oh God, no! Wow, really? Eh?
Yeah, he's going to go nuclear this year.
That is that's a lot. I'm gonna go MVP. I'm gonna go Joe Burrow because I just can't think the Bengals defense will be that bad again. It's funny what if he's MVP, then shouldn't he be the Offensive Player of the Year at the same time? I just want to point that out. If the MVP's, I know they're saying he's most valuable, but how could he not be the Offensive Player of the Year? But just for fun, I will say Jamar Chase. So I'll go, which is probably rare to have 2 teammates win. So I'm going to go off the board there. And defensive player, how about well, it's got to be on a good team. I like your pick of Will Anderson, but I'm going to go. This one might be off the board a bit, Cons. Deck might shake his head, but I'm going to go Jared Verse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Declan loves Florida State alumni, so I think he likes that one.
Okay. All right.
All right. Question, and I like your Joe Burrow pick. I'd have him right up there as well. Question number 3. If the NBA is to find evidence that the Clippers did pay Kawhi Leonard, well, that charity or whatever the organization was, paid him $28 million for a no-show job to skirt the cap, what do you think the punishment should be to the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard, and the owner, Steve Ballmer?
That's a good question, man. Now I watched some Michael McCann. I was following him. He's great because he's like the sports lawyer.
Yeah,
right? And he follows all these cases, and he's like, this one might be harder to prove because there's a third party. So, what do you think well, first of all, they're going to have to prove that it happened. Now, I don't discount Pablo Torres' reporting, right? He obviously did a ton of work on it. So, but as we've seen in the real world, just because you find the truth doesn't mean it'll be found guilty in court, which really makes me question our court system at times. But I'm going to say the punishment should be severe. Like if it's $28 million, like that's a massive amount. Although I know in the NBA circles, it's like whatever, but it's still a significant chunk. So I would like it to be a first round pick. If it's proven to be true, they lose a first round pick.
Yeah. Problem is the Clippers don't have many first round picks, right?
Fair point.
And then
fair point.
Financially, Ballmer is so rich.
Yeah. Like finding him $50 million is doing nothing.
Yeah. Like we talked about it in the first segment, and like it sounded to me a little crazy at first, but Declan was like, ban him and then suspend Kawhi for a year. And I don't even mind those things if you want to deter this from happening, But I'd take it a step further because I think his agent had to be involved in this as well. And I would take his certification away. I'd say you're not allowed to work with NBA clients anymore because of this deal that you did to gain that extra advantage for your client. It's shady. We don't want it in our league. So I think if you really wanted to deter it, at first I wasn't on board, but the more I thought about it, that's one way to do it because the draft picks isn't going to do it. Fines won't do it. The money they have is worth too much already. I think you got to take him out of the game. You got to remove Kawhi Leonard from the game and get rid of that agent as well. So it sounds a little harsh, but I think it might be an effective way to do it. Question number 4 for you here. As my browser was closed, let me bring it back up. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell has said that it's a maybe when it comes to Taylor Swift headlining this year's Super Bowl halftime show. Would you be on board for a Taylor Swift halftime show? And if not, who would be your preference?
Is Taylor Swift not the most popular musician in the world right now? Is there a bigger name globally than Taylor Swift in music?
No, I don't think so.
So who's going to draw more? If I'm looking at it from promoting my league and I'm going to have, now some people might come in just to watch the halftime show because they're not football fans, but that's going to increase what your number is on your audience, which now can increase what you charge your advertisers. It's a no-brainer. Like when he says, oh, it's a maybe, like, don't tell me this is the NFL deciding if it's going to come down to does she want to do it? Because the NFL is all about business and it's all about numbers. And right now there is no more popular. I don't care if you listening in the car aren't a Taylor Swift fan. It's irrelevant to you. Okay. She is the biggest draw in the world. That's a fact. Because Bob or Jason or Tom or Sarah or whoever doesn't like her, that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant to the conversation. She's the biggest name globally. It's not even close right now in music. So if she wants to do it, she should be doing it. I don't know. She's got some songs. I don't mind some of her songs. Like my son can't stand it, but it's more so because the girls in his class. I said, well, why do you hate? He goes, well, Dad, they just scream and it gets loud and I don't like it. And I'm like, I can respect that. I can understand that. Like, you know, and as you know, younger girls, pretty high pitched voice. It can be pretty tough. So, but she's got some songs that I don't mind at all. Now, do I have an album of Taylor Swift? No, I don't have an album of anybody, but I think I might have one of her songs. I only like it just because of the opening, right? You're taking shots at me like it's Patron, right? It's 7 a.m. I like that. It's funny, but so I'd have no problem with it. Would I watch the whole show? I'd be intrigued to see how she'd perform. Yes.
It wouldn't be my first choice because I'm not a fan of her music. Like I've said a few times, it's in the Bay. Metallica's from the Bay. I think a good rock show would be nice to change up the genres. It's been a while. So that's the way I would go because I think you could bring in another couple classic bands to kind of, as they always do. But Taylor Swift, like you said, when she went to Toronto last year, she generated $282 million in economic impact or boost.
Oh, yeah.
Like she makes so much money for wherever she goes. I'd have no problem with it. My only problem with Taylor Swift is that she's a Chiefs fan. Other than that, I think it's great that she's getting eyes on the game.
Her fiance plays for the team. Of course, she's a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I can't like it or I can dislike. I have to dislike it. It's because they're one of the rivals and they beat my team for fun, so I have to dislike it.
Now, I haven't even looked, but isn't Super Bowl in San Francisco this year?
It is.
Yeah. So if it is, then like Metallica would probably be a good fit.
Yeah.
Right.
Would be sick.
But at the same time, I don't have a problem. Like, honestly, people I find get their shorts in a knot a lot over the halftime show. Like, I've seen shows where people perform unreal and some guy, I'm like, they suck. And I'm like, okay. But I never get that worked up. Like, I'm trying to think of a halftime show that I really didn't like. It's funny. Like, I'm not a big Kendrick Lamar fan. I thought it was okay, but he didn't wow me, but a lot of people love him and that's okay. But I'm not ripping him. I'm just like, meh, I didn't love it. So who knows? Like maybe a Swift halftime show. Like I'll say this, she puts on a performance. Like she's a performer. Whether you like her music or not, she's a good performer. Like you're not going to her concert and be bored.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it would be good. I mean, people would dislike it because like you say, every single Super Bowl, someone's complaining about it, but it would be good. Final question for you. It is the late Hank Thompson's birthday. In honor of him, who are your top 3 country artists of all time?
Oh, God. Country music artists of all time. For me, mama. Well, Garth Brooks. Going with Garth. I'm going to go Dolly Parton. And because these are ones I like. And no, it's tough. I'm not like a huge, like, it's funny. I'm a farm guy, but it's not like I was like, hey, give me my truck and have my dog and we could shoot some cans. Like, it's not really how it was, but I will go with, I know the song, Don't Take the Girl. Who sings it? I got to look it up, Cons, as we're Tim
McGraw.
Okay, I'll go with Tim just for that song. It's a great song.
I don't really know country music. Like, my iPod, Apple Music Shuffle is wild. You'll find a lot of things, but it won't be much country music. I kind of like the classics, though, when I get into it. So I guess I'd have Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, and I got a couple Hank Williams songs on there as well. So for someone who's not huge into country, I definitely prefer the older stuff, and those would be my guys.
All right. There you go. 4:57, Mark Spector will join us when we return. And more, it's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by 01 Hockeyology. Training that improves your game at 01. AI-driven treadmills, full ice drills, and data-back coaching will take your offseason to the next level. Sign up now at 01, that's ZERONE.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
The LA Clippers and team owner Steve Ballmer reportedly have been accused of circumventing the NBA salary cap by paying $28 million to Kawhi Leonard for a no-show job. Pablo Torre reporting that the Clippers paid Leonard through a now bankrupt company owned by owner Steve Ballmer. Major League Baseball tonight, Jays taking on the Reds once again, top of the second. Slow compared to yesterday, currently scoreless. Elsewhere, Pirates held the Dodgers 1-0 after 1. Guardians midway through the first lead, the Red Sox 1-0. Later tonight, you got the Rays and the Mariners. Angels in Kansas City. Twins host the White Sox. Athletics up against the Cards. Astros and Yankees. And the Giants taking on the Rockies earlier this afternoon. Padres fell to the Orioles 7-5. It was the Diamondbacks over the Rangers 2-0. Mets lose to the Tigers 6-2, and the Nationals double up the Marlins 10-5. In the WNBA tonight, you got the Dream and the Sparks meeting in Georgia in about 30 minutes. Then at 6 o'clock from Chicago, Sky taking on the Sun. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet, and hear another edition of the Oil Report. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Hawaii. The warmth of a golden sunset as the waves roll in. The freshness of a waterfall. The lush scent of tropical flowers in the air. You don't need to travel to enjoy all Hawaii has to offer. You just need to order pizza. Bring Hawaii home with the Aloha Trio, available for a limited time at Papa John's. Try our classic Hawaiian, Super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken for just $19.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
At Fountain Tire, you can save $50 off tire storage with the purchase of 4 select tires now until September 30th at participating locations. Okay. Or you could squeeze them into your backseat, possibly causing upholstery damage, drive them home, struggle, sweating buckets trying to get them out of your vehicle, resulting in you feeling guilty for not going to the gym more often, or at all. But at the end of the day, it's your choice. Totally up to you.
Definitely $50 off the tire storage.
You got it. Book your appointment today at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
It's the Brick's famous tent sale. Save up to 60% off clearance items in the tent and store, with more amazing deals arriving daily in every department. Like up to $1,800 off power reclining sectionals and up to $700 off big screen TVs. Buy more, save more when you buy 2 or more major appliances up to $1,000 off. Plus, get a free Bluetooth party speaker when you spend $9.99 or more on furniture. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
Reduce fine lines and wrinkles while strengthening your hair with BioCell. It's a clinically proven, Ishura-tested product that helps in the formation of collagen. Find BioCell now at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
$1 plus tax for a smooth, small premium roast coffee at McDonald's? That means rich, full-bodied flavor at a price that's just as satisfying. Must be McCafe. Enjoy a small McCafe premium roast coffee for just $1 plus tax at participating McDonald's in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
What's better than a family reunion? Getting the family discount. At Nisku Ford, you're not just a customer, you're part of the family. And we believe our family deserves the very best.
Our legendary employee pricing has been held over into September. So if you just got back from summer vacation, you can still get the Ford you want with exclusive deals reserved for our closest kin.
The coffee's on. Drive into Nisku Ford or visit niskuford.ca today. Above expectations.
Ah, Hawaii. The warmth of a golden sunset as the waves roll in. The freshness of a waterfall. The lush scent of tropical flowers in the air. You don't need to travel to enjoy all Hawaii has to offer. You just need to order pizza. Bring Hawaii home with the Aloha Trio, available for a limited time at Papa John's. Try our classic Hawaiian, super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken for just $19.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Did you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site service? Rain or shine, Japa's service department is here for you. Get a quote now at japamachinery.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.504. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having yourself a fantastic day. It is Wednesday. The Jays taking on Cincinnati. And today, what about George Springer? What a season George Springer's having. What about, like, the guy's absolutely crushing it here in the last 50 games, like hitting over 400. Man, he is bomb. He's got like 18 home runs. He's absolutely killing it for the Toronto Blue Jays. And we'll see. Can their pitchers now? Shane Bieber on the mound tonight. But last night the final three relievers, it was their starter. Last night was a problem, and that's kind of being the only starter who's been a problem. But that was a positive sign. Three relievers came in. Three relievers did pretty well. So that's a good step in the right direction if you are a Blue Jays fan. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Speaking of step in the right direction, the NFL's back, and they got all new better odds at PlayAlberta.ca. It begins tomorrow. Check it out, PlayAlberta.ca. As we get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. And not only do they help us move around, they do ton in the community. Very big heart from Turan and the whole team at GS Construction. We applaud them for all their charitable endeavors. As we welcome to the show, Mark Spector. Spec, how you doing?
Geez, I was listening to the show earlier, and it was Connor Halley running it. I kind of thought I was getting him today. I'm a little disappointed, Jay.
Yeah, well, hey, there you go, buddy. That's what happened. We had something important come up, and we'll discuss it tomorrow on the show. But the con man was nice to kind of fill in the last moment.
Carried the ball, man.
Great. That's what you have to do. When someone's tying their shoes, someone's got to step in. It's just how it goes.
That's it.
It was funny because a very different situation, but I can see why there'd be some concern in Vancouver, even though there's still an extra year. But Oiler fans, and I've said I still believe, very confidently that Connor McDavid's going to sign a contract extension. Now, I don't know how long, but I firmly believe he'll sign one. What about Quinn Hughes? They haven't had the success that McDavid's had in Edmonton, right? There's actually been a lot of drama in Vancouver, but it's still in the history of the NHL. There's Mitch Marner, there's John Tavares, and I know Pietrangelo left, but that was more because the team kind of dicked him around, and then he was finally okay, I'm leaving in free agency, right? It doesn't happen very often. Do you think, should Canuck fans be concerned about Quinn Hughes, or is this probably going to be more noise than actual leaving?
Yeah, no. I think there's a couple of reasons to be concerned. Let's bounce it off of McDavid and even Marner. Marner was very complex in Toronto, but the Toronto Maple Leafs are a pretty good team. I know they never get it done. He's a big part of that, but they're a pretty good team and they're having success, and you think they should be even better. McDavid in Edmonton, 2 Stanley Cups in a row, a genuine Stanley Cup contender. His question mark in Edmonton is how long are they going to be a Stanley Cup contender? Am I signing on for years when the team's going to not be as good? The team's saying to him, don't you worry, Connor, we're going to be good. Vancouver's a whole different ballgame. They haven't been good. There's been a ton of superfluous drama. And I think the biggest one, Jay, is he's got 2 brothers playing in New Jersey, right?
One of them hasn't signed yet.
Yeah, well, 2 brothers playing in New Jersey. That's a big one. If it was me, I'd love to play with my brothers. If it was you, I bet you would too. So that's something that no other superstar has out there. And I think, frankly, I'll be honest with you, it's got to be about, can we win a cup? And Vancouver needs to take a step this year in the right direction. Elias Pettersson, their franchise player, has to take a step in the right direction. They need to show Quinn Hughes, okay, here we go. We're close. We can win. If they can't show him that, I don't expect them to stay.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing about New Jersey, though. Luke Hughes doesn't have a contract even in New Jersey. And here's the thing. I think it's kind of unrealistic to think an NHL team would house all 3 brothers. When you look at what they probably make, and when you just look at kind of the style and the size, I don't know if that's championship to have, all 3 of your key players not necessarily being big guys.
Well, you won't catch me disagreeing on that front. Quinn Hughes is good enough to be as small as he is, and he's small. I've stood next to him enough times in dressing rooms to tell you, he's a small person, man. But he's good enough. He's still a Norris Trophy guy. So, yes, you're right, Jason. Too much, your best players can't all be small. But Quinn Hughes can play for my team no matter what I got going on, and I'll figure the rest out somewhere else.
Mark Spector joins us. Spec, you look at, we are 2 weeks away from training camp. Rookie camp gets going next week.
Yes.
Then they're going to have some rookie games actually at Rogers Place this year on the Friday night. It's $20 a ticket. It'll be Savoy's going, Howard's going. I don't see any other rookies at that camp that I think have a chance to compete for the team. But Savoy or Howard, who intrigues you more this coming year?
Well, I think I'm going to say Howard because I feel like there's way less known about him. I feel like I watched Matt Savoy play some games. He what did he play in the minors last year? Was 60 plus, 64 games or something like that. You have to look it up, but I believe it was mid-60s. So I feel like he's got, and he had a bunch of points. He had 40-some points. He had a real good first pro season. I feel like I have a better idea that I think he can do it. He's small. They're both small. But I feel like if he can do it in the AHL, I'll bet you he can do it in the NHL at some point here. Howard's a whole new deal, man. Howard, if I had $20 for every time some hotshot came out of the NCAA and was going to light the NHL on fire and never did it, right? I'd have been retired by now. So, I'm not telling you he can't do it. I'm just saying the mold he comes from, those guys get mega overrated down there. They play for Team USA. It's an all-star team. They play college hockey. It's not as good sometimes as everyone makes it out to be. And then they're going to walk right into the NHL. How many playoff points did that Leonard have last year? He was supposed to be the best player not in the NHL, right? I don't have hockey to be in front of me, but not many. So
no, dude, not many at all. Like, and that's just the truth. Like in today's NHL, and as always, like there's been a few Marty St. Louis and there's been a few Theon Fleury's that have great success. There's no debate on that, but
they're outliers.
Size matters. It just does. Right. And then, you know what? You kind of got to be gritty for sure to add to that. Like Theron Fleury was no shrinking violet, obviously due to his, what happened to him, right? The guy's overcome a lot of stuff, right? When
he's
he was
an outlier.
Right. They're outliers. So yeah, I don't think it's a thing. Now, can you have some skilled guys? 100%. And, I think if you have one smaller forward in your top six, that's no problem because lots of teams have won with one. You just can't have multiple.
Yeah, you can't have too many. Your best guys can't all be tiny. We watched the Montreal Canadiens try that for a while, and they're always trying to get bigger. It doesn't work. Jersey's that team now. Edmonton's not that team at this point. Zach Hyman's more than big enough first-line player. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins isn't a giant. He's a physical player, but he's big enough. First-line player. Connor McDavid, first-line player. Leon Draisaitl, I guess, second-line player. There's enough guys. They play Podkolzin up there. He's big enough. So, sure, Savoy and Howard are both tiny, not big guys, man. They are small guys. And if, you can't have, I would say to you, Jay, I better not have another guy that's 5'8" in my top 9. That's for sure. I think they just used up the 2 holes you get for really small guys. Can they both play? Hell, they could both be all-stars. Like, little guys can play. Don't get me wrong. We all knew Johnny Gaudreau, and he was a really, really good player. And there's many more of them. Caulfield. I mean, you can just go down the list. There's all kinds of small guys now. But don't tell me that it's not a bigger challenge when you're trying to make it from the NCAA, which is a mile below the American League and about 10 miles below the NHL. So you're trying to make that jump, and you're trying to make it at 5'8", 100 and what is he? I don't even know what he weighs. 180?
Yeah.
182? That's a major jump for Ike Howard, man. It is a major jump.
Yeah. Was Zach Hyman claiming he's hoping, he'll be ready to start the season? Kind of tells me he might not be ready. Who do you see as the best candidate to take Zach Hyman's spot, even if it's for only a few weeks?
Yeah, that's a good question, hey? It's a good question. Like, I guess when I'm thinking about right wingers, I'm thinking about Matt Savoy, but I don't love taking a young kid like that and throwing him on the first line next to Connor McDavid, Jay. I think that's too much pressure and too much expectation and too much setting a young player up for failure. I would, if I was coaching the Edmonton Oilers, I would never make that move. You're not going to find another Zach Hyman. I mean, you don't have another Zach Hyman. That's why he's your best right winger, right? Yeah. He's your best right winger. So who's your second line right winger on this team? Is it Savoy?
No, I think it's Mangiapane.
Mangiapane. Thank you. Forgot about Mangiapane. I'll probably go Mangiapane in that spot till Hyman gets back. He's a veteran. He can handle any expectation. If it doesn't go well, he's not going to get ruined. So, yeah, you just named a guy, didn't you?
Well, I would keep Mangiapane with Draisaitl because it's only going to be temporary. And the guy that intrigues me the most is David Tomasek. Yeah, he's an NHL rookie, but he's 29. And, he's man strength. He's heavy. You know what? He obviously has produced some offense the last 2 years. And now he's not going to replace Hyman's scoring. Obviously not. I think that would be wishful thinking to do. But you know what? Corey Perry at 39 spec got some shifts there last year. So don't tell me that Tomasek can't skate well enough to play for a few weeks with Connor McDavid if Corey Perry can.
Oh, that's fair. You just said it. If Corey Perry can make it through some shifts on McDavid's line, most guys can. Yeah. I mean, sure. I guess I'm a little concerned again in Thomas. I wouldn't mind easing Tomasek into the league a little bit. Like, the guy's never played a professional game in North America, and you're going to bring him over, put him on your first line with the best player in the world, and everyone's looking at him going, well, where's the points?
Yeah, but
Right?
here's the thing. I don't think many, like, unless you're a fool, you wouldn't be expecting him to score a lot of points.
Well,
Look
you're
at
a
the top
first line winger.
Yeah, well, what did Arvidsson do? What did Skinner do? Let's go down the list of guys, right? Like, there's lots of guys who haven't produced a ton. And again, it's only for a short period of time. Like, all you are is a coaster holder. This is not a long-term answer, right? I'm going to say, because now I'll know if I got something or not. That's the best opportunity.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I see exactly where you're coming from. I mean, listen, it's got to be someone, and you're not rich on top 6 right wingers. You're just not on this team right now. So sure, if and I suspect you're right. Zach Hyman, as we speak, is stick handling and passing, not shooting.
Yeah,
not shooting. So now there's pretty much 6 weeks till the season starts, but I don't get the feeling. I don't get the feeling that he'll play right away. I also don't get the feeling that he'll be out a long time. His rehab just might not jive with the opening of the season. I think it'll come shortly thereafter, personally.
And do you think Nugent Hopkins is going to be a center or a winger? Or is it going to be 50-50?
Until Hyman gets back, I'm going to say you got to play him with McDavid probably. I don't know. I just long term, I don't see Ryan Nugent Hopkins being the third line center that teams win championships with. I don't see it. Do you?
I actually like him better. I thought he's better as a center than he is as a winger. So I don't mind him as a third line center. I thought he played quite well in the playoffs at center.
Well, he had a good playoffs. He's a good player. Like, this isn't me ripping up Nuge. He does so many things well. But I don't, when I think of championship teams with centermen, I think I've said this a million times on your show, Jay. I think of guys like Mike Pekka, and I think of guys like Carbonneau and McTavish and Sammy Paulson and John Madden and harder-nosed, tough face-off winning, bulldog check-in type guys. And that doesn't describe Nugent Hopkins to me. Does it to you?
Yeah, I don't know if I think, in the checking era of the NHL, you're right. But in today's era of the NHL,
maybe.
Maybe. So I don't know if I see it as much now as it would be nice. But Nugent Hopkins isn't overly physical. You're bang on with that.
Not overly great in the circle.
No. He's gotten okay, right? Like the Oilers are actually a pretty good face-off team. So overall, but yeah, I'm kind of curious about it. Like I just want to see Adam Henrique. I'd like to see in a short period of time, him and McDavid had very good numbers. He is very good around the net. I look at him as a better skater than Patrick Maroon was, infinitely better player. If you look at his overall career, it's not even close.
Yeah.
And I just want to see, I could be totally wrong. And maybe, maybe there's no chance, but selfishly, I just would like to see Henrique with McDavid.
Yeah. Okay. I don't mind that. I feel like, you know what, actually the guy that I think, like, I don't see Henrique having more than a year left here at Edmonton. I think his deal's up after this year, correct?
Yes. He has 1 year left.
I think as an older guy, they'll probably try to get younger. See what I would love if I was Stan Bowman, I'd like my third line center for the next 7 years to be Trent Frederick. That's what I'd like. I don't know if he can do it. I don't know if he's got the skills, but that's the guy. If you're going to go, let's say McDavid's here the whole time. I'm going to go McDavid up the middle, then Draisaitl. Then I got a big, strong, hopefully good at face-offs, a guy that could check, a guy that's physical in my third line center hole. That's my guy's Trent Frederick.
And I expect, just for fun, the team that won back-to-back Stanley Cups?
Yeah, I heard of them. Florida.
Yeah, Lundell's a pretty decent third line center.
Yeah.
Not already physical.
No.
Now they have Bennett, though. They have Bennett in their top 6, right? And he kind of fluctuates up and down. But like Bennett was on their second line, he was an absolute killer. But that third line though was unreal for Florida last year. Now,
unbelievable.
But they also had a year that I don't think you can ever repeat. I don't think you're going to see a third line score that much. Like at 5-on-5, they outscored I think they had the 3 of them combined outscored their top 2 lines. So respectively.
Yeah,
but
and what if it's this coming season and they can't be $9.5 million over the cap?
Yeah. Well,
Brad Marchand.
Yes.
Right, Brad Marchand's not playing for that team. Are we talking about that third line right now if Marchand's not playing on it?
Hey, dude, think about it. Brad Marchand would have been a $6 million cap in the playoffs, not a 1.5.
Right. So
Right.
this,
Like,
hey,
it's going to be
they
very
won
difficult.
fair and square.
Yeah,
they were the
but
better
see,
team. They
yes.
played by the rules. I never liked the rule before it. I didn't like it when Chicago was doing it. I didn't like it when LA was doing it. I don't like it that Florida did it. I'm very pleased that no one else gets to do it. Right.
I think yeah, I'm with you on the salary cap. I'm not sure I'm a big believer in if I acquire a player during the year and I get him at 40 with 20 games left and his cap hit is $3 million, right? That's what I'm paying him for argument's sake. But then when the playoffs start, now he's back to his full cap hit. I don't really like that. I'm like, to me, it's just limiting player movement during the season. Like that to me is like, we're like, well, we didn't like this. We didn't like the teams were abusing it, but no one complained about, hey, you acquired this guy at the deadline and the other team retained half. And that's a total legal part of the game. Now, all of a sudden it's like, well, now the new salary cap kicks in. So that I think it's like they're double whammying one problem.
Yeah, that's a big one. That part of it is a big part of it. That's for sure. If we're going to go if we're changing a guy's cap hit from game 82 to game 1 of the playoffs, that's tough. That's rough, man.
It's just going to limit. I think it's going to limit trades at the trade deadline. I think that's what it's going to do.
It will.
Yeah.
Yes, it will. I mean, I guess here's what happens. They make rules in the CBA and then the agents figure out the way to blow up those rules, right? It's always the agents that say, hey, GM, if you did this and you did this and you did this, it's compliant and you can gain an advantage. And the GMs go, well, I'm going to check with my cap guy, but I'll get back to you. So to me, they make that move that we're just speaking about because they must see a loophole there. They must see a way that it would get exploited. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think it'd be hard though now. Like salary cap hasn't really been exploited by the agents. Like you can, now I guess they got to some, you were able to get, buyout proof contracts in a way, sure, by getting more of a signing bonus. But from a cap, you're getting your AAVs. Your AAV doesn't really change, except now if I acquire a guy and he's a $4 million player, but the other team retains half. Well, now he's only a $2 million player for me. But once the playoffs start, now he's a $4 million.
He goes back to 4.
Yeah, it's a little odd. Now, they do only count 20 players instead of 22 or 3, which teams carry. But usually that 22nd, 23rd, 21st guy are all making $1 million. So it's not like it's
right
going to create a ton of space for you. So it will be interesting to see how it goes. I love the salary cap. I've argued for it for a few years, but I don't like the change in retention. I like moves at the deadline. I think I like teams who want to take a swing and things like that. And if you're able to get a player and it's legal and that's what his cap hit is when he acquired him, why would it change? His cap hit should remain that percentage of your team's cap when the playoffs begin.
Yeah, I don't love it. I want to think of where teams are going to start trying to cut corners to make that 20-man salary cap work. And if I'm a backup goalie making $3 million, I'm going to be a dinosaur pretty quick.
Oh, that's 100%. Right? It'll be like, hey, our backup. And some games I could see a team saying, you know what, geez, if we have some cap hit, guess what? If we have a third stringer, well, we'll dress him, hoping we don't have to go to him because it gives us an extra $2 million to put in someone else in the lineup.
That's what's going to happen.
There's not a ton of backups who make $3 million, but there are some teams who kind of have a split, each guy's making 2.5 or each guy's making 3 or 4, right? Like Edmonton's a little bit of an outlier by having, I think it's 3% of their cap or just above 3.5% of their cap goes to goaltending. It's very low.
I think what you're saying, you've got it. Teams where there's 2 goalies that say, let's say for fun, they both make $3 million. They'll pick their starter. They'll put the farm team guy on the bench and hope like heck no one gets injured. That's what they'll do.
If they need to, yeah. Like if they're in a tight cap crunch, I could definitely see it doing. Before I let you go, Spec, I don't know if you watched Felix Auger-Aliassime today, makes it to the semifinal of the U.S. Open. Now, obviously, he's going up against, I don't even know which one, but he's going up against one of the 2 juggernauts, so it's going to be very difficult. But, man, the guy's playing great tennis right now.
Yeah, I did. I watched the last 2 sets out here, and I was really impressed with how cool and calm he was. Like, he didn't play like a guy about to get in, trying to win his way into a U.S. Open semifinal, Final Four. I thought he looked like he was just in charge. He won, didn't he? Woo the last 3 sets, 7-6, 7-5, 7-6. The crunch time, he was even better than at the beginning of the set. He looked like a guy that's been there a few times, even though we all know he hasn't, Jay.
Yeah. No, it's true. Like it would be unreal if he can win his next match, because like right now in tennis and Alcaraz and Sinner, like, oh my goodness, like those guys almost look unbeatable. Like it looks like almost every tournament they're going to be in the final, but all it takes is one guy to disrupt it. Maybe it'll be him. We'll be watching.
He gets the winner between Sinner and the other Italian whose name I don't know. But hey, let's see what happens. It's been a pretty good year for Canadian tennis. Let's see if this kid can keep her rolling here.
Yeah. Awesome, Spec. Have yourself a good one.
All right, Jay.
There you go. That's Mark Spector, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. What's your thoughts? Like, I think the NHL now, and I know they said, hey, we're reopened to revisit, because I do think, and I think most of us are in agreement. I love getting rid of we can hide a guy 9.5 and then boom, he's naturally able to just come on. There's no salary cap in the playoffs. I didn't like that. But if you acquire a guy legally at the trade deadline, because if they got rid of double retention, okay, fine. You get rid of double retention. You can only do it you can't do 2 of them back to back. You can only do it within 75 days. Okay. So that kind of limits that. But if you acquire a player and he's only on your roster, even if the other team retains nothing, right? You're only paying him the percentage of his salary cap that's due the rest of the year. That's what his cap hit should be in the playoffs. Agree or disagree? 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
How's your summer so far? Are you zipping around in your new truck from Wolf GMC Buick? If not, you should be. GMC employee pricing continues through August on our entire 2025 GMC Sierras, including the Sierra HD lineup. But just August. Who knows what September brings? Costco members save an additional $1,200 on our 2025 Buick lineup and all our new GMC Terrain. We're here for a good time, not forever. Buy the new reliable vehicle and treat yourself. Employee pricing, 0% financing at Wolf GMC Buick.
Reduce fine lines and wrinkles while strengthening your hair with BioSil. It's a clinically proven, Ishura-tested product that helps in the formation of collagen. Find BioSil now at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
$1 plus tax for a smooth, small premium roast coffee at McDonald's? That means rich, full-bodied flavor at a price that's just as satisfying. Must be McCafe. Enjoy a small McCafe premium roast coffee for just $1 plus tax at participating McDonald's in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your #1 air conditioning company. So when you can't take living in oppressive heat any longer, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If your hot, sticky sheets keep you up all night, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you've decided that you deserve to be cool and comfortable, call Legacy. Call Legacy. And with no payments, no interest for 1 year, it could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Some people wake up and get dressed for work in a suit and tie or a nice dress. At GS Construction, we're less fashion forward and more putting our best foot forward. We wear hard hats and steel-toe boots, and most importantly, we wear 50 years of experience with pride. It's not glamorous, it's definitely not easy, but it matters. We do it well. So if you'd like to be part of something where your work matters, GS Construction is hiring. Just remember, when you come for an interview, ditch the tie. See more at gsconstruction.ca.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
The ATB Classic is returning to Northern Bear Golf Club.
An international field of professionals will battle it out on their path towards the PGA Tour.
Advance tickets are $20 or upgrade your access to sit greenside in the Sports 1440 Birdie Bar, presented by Sleeman.
Net proceeds go to Youth on Course to give kids aged 6 to 18 access to play golf for just $5.
Come see the future stars of the PGA Tour.
The ATB Classic,
September 11th to 14th.
Get your tickets at atbclassic.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Northwest Crane, available for all your lifting and equipment needs, specializing in selling and servicing cranes. Get lifting at northwestcrane.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.531. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. You can text us. It's the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. We got a lot of texts flying in. Hey, Greg's, what about buyouts? Campbell, for example, salary retention. Does that count against the cap? Yes. So anything. So you have your 20-man roster plus any of those things. Basically what they're doing is it's your roster that plays in the game. So if you have, 21, 22, 23 like you do during the regular season, sometimes 24 if a guy's on IR, he still counts on your cap, but he doesn't count on your active roster. Then that happens. Now in the playoffs, all that counts is the 20 who are dressed. It doesn't matter if a guy's hurt, it's irrelevant. Right? You just count your 20, but yes, if you have a buyout for Jack Campbell, that will count, $2.5 million. If you have salary retained from a previous trade, that will count too. So there you go. But yes, buyouts will have it. Hey, Gregor, it's a darned if you do, darned if you don't scenario. Other teams already believe that Florida has a cheat advantage due to the tax breaks. But not only that, they finagled and finished the previous two rule to win 2 years in a row, which a lot of people consider cheating. I believe this system will lead to what real solution is. It's a work in progress and feels like a step in a more fair direction from Soggy Corpse. Well, I agree with you, Soggy Corpse. But to me, just putting in a salary cap would have eliminated all of the quote shenanigans, right? That eliminates it. $9.5 million. Guess what? Now you can't have all those guys in the lineup, right? You can't have Seth Jones and Tkachuk. It just wasn't going to work, right? The math doesn't work unless you had someone else get hurt. Right? Like the Oilers would have been a team that would have been over, but the problem was they never had Ekholm, Hyman, and Kane all in the lineup at the same time. So they were never over. That's what happens with injuries. I just feel like putting in the salary cap, awesome. Love that idea. But this one of reverting back to your cap hit and like, hey, we took you on for 6 weeks and that's what we paid you, but now we have to take on your full cap hit. I don't really get that. So, Gregor, I disagree. I love trades, but if your cap hits $5 million at the start of the year, then your traded cap should be $5 million to start the playoffs. That's your number. Great. But then shouldn't it be your number all year, Braden? You can't pick and choose, though, can you? You can't say, well, you're $5 million, but now for a few months you're at $2.5 million, and then you go back to $5 million. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense. Then eliminate retention in trades. Then, right? Like I don't see the point. That's kind of what they're doing, right? Like to me, it's why I don't love games that have 3 points in the regular season and some only have 2. I don't love that. But this one seems odd to me. You're a $5 million player, then you're 2.5. Oh, then you're a $5 million player again. That just seems a little odd. So, Gregor, what if a $4 million player in expiring contract gets traded? The selling team retains $2 million with a cap in the playoffs not be 2? No, Josh. Expiring contract doesn't expire until June 30th, right? It doesn't end at the end of the regular season. It ends on June 30th. Even though they don't get paid, right? Like their payment of the contract ends at the end of the regular season, but their actual contract, which is what in this case they're going to go by, does obviously you're playing in the playoffs, you got a contract till June 30th. So no, it would still be it's still going to be the same. Aren't they double dipping on the cap if the team that retained also gets dinged for the full hit? Well, rarely do you have 2 playoff teams trading guys. Like, why would you do that? Right? If I'm a playoff team and I'm trading. Now, I think there was one time where a guy, because they were way under the cap, they did it. So I guess in theory it could happen. But usually you were doing it, because who was it? Was it Carolina? Who was a third-party broker in one of those 3-way trades, if I'm not mistaken? I think it was. But now you can't do that. So you could never have 3 teams because that would be unbelievable. But usually if I'm a team and team A is trading with team B and there's not a team C, just team A and team B, team A who retains half the salary is usually a non-playoff team. I'd have to think if there was ever a trade between just straight up two playoff bound teams near the deadline that had salary retention. Off the top of my head, I can't think of one, but that would be fantastic if there was one. So, guys, why can't you trade buyout values? The league should open up team abilities to deal more assets, make the business side more exciting. From Brad. So you're saying that you could trade a buyout value. Basically, you're getting the buyout. Well, here's the thing. To trade it means the acquiring team has to pay it. So I guess they could. That's a good question to ask a capologist as to why you wouldn't want it. You'd have to have an owner, and they do it now where they take on teams, but lots of times when we see like Shea Weber's and those type of players traded, the owner who acquires them isn't really paying them. Insurance is, right? This would be different. Buyout, that's not insurance. You're actually paying. So, like, for instance, like, hey, we're going to convince Columbus to take Jack Campbell. And the GM says to his owner, okay, wait a sec. So I get a guy who I got to pay him $2.5 million to not play for us. And it's not insurance who's paying. Why am I doing it? So I think that would be a little bit harder. So, hey, Gregor, if a team retains, that doesn't count towards playoff. It has to do with prorated amount of cap. No, that's not true, George. You can go read it. In the playoffs now, what your salary cap was, it will revert back to your full salary cap. That's one we had Hart from Puckpedia on yesterday explaining that. So that's how it goes. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Got a lot more text. We'll get to those and more when you return. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Biggest game of the season. Your Edmonton Elks Labor Day rematch with the Calgary Stampeders on Saturday, September 6th. It's the next gen game presented by National Bank. Kids get in free with a paid adult P5 ticket and tickets start at just $20. Score yours at GoElks.com.
The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. The all-new redesigned 2026 XC90 is here. Test drive the ultimate evolution in luxury. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $5,000. Finance or lease a 2026 XC40 from 2.99%. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
When you have lifting and material handling needs, Northwest Crane delivers. Western Canada's Sani dealer, backed by the industry's toughest one. 3 years, 3,000 hours, no compromises. They service all crane makes and models with skilled technicians and deep industry expertise. Alberta owned with locations in Leduc and Grand Prairie and fully equipped service trucks. Northwest Crane keeps your operation lifting. For more information on sales or service, visit northwestcrane.com or call today.
It's the Brick's famous tent sale. Save up to 60% off clearance items in the tent and store with more amazing deals arriving daily in every department. Like up to $1,800 off power reclining sectionals and up to $700 off big screen TVs. Buy more, save more when you buy 2 or more major appliances, up to $1,000 off. Plus, get a free Bluetooth party speaker when you spend $9.99 or more on furniture. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more. Reduce fine lines and wrinkles while strengthening your hair with BioSil. It's a clinically proven, Ishura-tested product that helps in the formation of collagen. Find BioSil now at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
$1 plus tax for a smooth, small premium roast coffee at McDonald's? That means rich, full-bodied flavor at a price that's just as satisfying. Must be McCafe. Enjoy a small McCafe premium roast coffee for just $1 plus tax at participating McDonald's in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Measles is very dangerous during pregnancy, increasing the risk of many severe health-related complications. If you're planning to become pregnant, make sure you have received 2 doses of the vaccine at least 1 month before conception. Don't get measles, get immunized. Visit alberta.ca/measles to find out if you're up to date and what to do if you're not. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation Mighty Millions Lottery bonus prize deadline is September 12th. Go top shelf to score the Oilers in $75,000 bonus prize. Lower bowl Oilers season seats plus $75,000 cash. You're also in to win the Porsche Paris early bird and the $2.5 million grand prize. A luxury show home in Cameron Heights. Hurry! Bonus prize deadline is September 12th. Be mighty. Buy your tickets now at MightyMillionsLottery.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Action Electrical. They are the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions and project service tag and solar for commercial or residential. Contact them today at actionelectrical.net.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5:43. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. It's always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can always get in the game. It's the OG. Today, Lotto 649. And up for grabs tonight, 12 million. Nobody won last night. So Friday, Lotto Max, 50 million. And hey, if you were looking for home runs, well, the Jays were down 5-0. And then George Springer, who all he does is hit home runs, hit a solo blast. And then Dalton Varsho hit his 18th homer. He's only played 51 games. The guy's got 18 dingers. Like, he is, like, you prorate that, it's like still almost 60. It's wild. And then Alejandro Kirk, they went back to back, and suddenly the Jays are down 5-3. So that offense, they're never out of it. Their pitching can be a little bit of an adventure, but their offense, whew, they can swing the bats. They are the best hitting team. They're not the biggest boppers, but they got the best batting average in the majors, and they hit a ton. And lately, they've started to swing a little bit bigger. You get Varsho in the lineup, you get Springer, and you look at the amount of home runs they have in the games they played, pretty darn good. We got a lot of texts coming in, 833-401-1440. I always like it when people have a good sense of humor. Hey, guys. Do you think Cates could pay McDavid's wife $20 million to renovate his bathroom? Obviously, a little bit of a Ballmer joke. If you missed it, that story Pablo Torres had, that there was a landscaping company that was paying Kawhi Leonard, according to Pablo Torres' story, $28 million to be their spokesperson. But here's the thing. The company did not exist. It was just like a front, and that was a way to get under this, some salary cap circumvention by the Clippers. Not good. Not good at all. And this is going to be a story to watch for sure. Cons, what do you think? Like, what comes from this?
I mean, we talked about it earlier on, and like I said, I think that it's got to be big. I think you have to deter this really quickly, and you have to make it severe punishment so teams don't think that they can get away with it, because, or at least teams try to do a better job hiding the paper trail, because it makes me really suspicious to think that this is the first time a team's done it. I just think if other teams do it, rather than have a company that you own that doesn't really exist pay the player, you'd probably get a sponsor or a friend like, hey, you guys do this for us, we'll take care of you. Throw them a sponsorship deal, and we'll handle it. To do it by yourself and just go over the cap when you've already paid him a max deal is just crazy. So I'm thinking you got to, do a heavy-handed suspension here for Kawhi Leonard. I think the same has to go for Ballmer as the owner. Like, I don't know if you can force him to move on from the team, but something has to happen. They've got their own arena there that he's the owner of as well, which makes things a little bit more complicated. And I think that the agent has to be punished. So I would be suspending Kawhi Leonard. I would be banning the agent from the NBA. I wouldn't let him have any other clients, because if he's doing that with them, maybe he's setting up other deals for other teams. And I think that the punishment has to be stiff for the owner of the team, but not financially, not, draft picks, like more than that. Like you have to, I don't know if it's banning him from the arena or what it might be, but I just think it has to be very harsh, because this, if it's minor, if it's a first round pick and a few $1 million, and I say that, they're NBA owners, they're very rich, is that going to stop a team from risking it for that? I don't think so.
Well, it's a good question, but they might, Cons. Like when you have that much money, like what fine could you give the owner? Right? Like, honestly,
I don't think there's any.
Like for the average person like us, like you can't even geez, fine him $5 million. People are like, I don't even have $5 million. The guy's like, what? Yeah, that's, not to be insulting, but that's like, finding the couch cushions for a guy like Ballmer. With all his investments, probably making that every 2 days, for goodness sakes. Ridiculous.
$153.1 billion.
Yeah.
That's his net worth. Like, what do you find him?
What are you going to find him? $10 billion?
You won't even notice.
Yeah, he's like, oh, whatever. Geez, I don't like it, but because they'll take the chance. You would have to make the fine so significant. Right? Like something like 50% of your net worth, which, like put in a percentage of your net worth, right? Like, I mean, because then the guys who have more, right? Because it's funny, like they're billionaires, but then there's 10, I have 10 billion, but I have 150 billion. We're both billionaires, but we're still in a different category, right? So yeah, I don't know how they'd ever do it, but it is wild. And that was great reporting by Torres, but it was interesting reading McCann and some of the other legal analysts. They're like, because there's a third party here, this one might be even harder to prove in court. Right? It's sadly, talk to anybody, some cases, when it comes to sexual abuse, you got sexual abuse, you go to court to try to prove it. Very different, right? Very different, which is unfortunate. So, but that is wild. Hey guys, what about the deferred money? Do you think McDavid will do it? We talked about that. The savings on it, like there's very little benefit for Connor McDavid to do it. Right? There's very little benefit because you can't guarantee what the interest rate's going to be, down the road. So no, I don't think he's going to do that. And you have until the start of this season to obtain a contract extension to do it. There's only the two Carolina contracts who have it right now. So what are we talking about? 2 out of 750 contracts, right? It's not even 0.5%. So no, I don't think we're going to see that at all. 833-401-1440. Hey, Greg's, I'm curious. Do you think O'Donnell plays for the Elks? I love the hockey talk, but football comes first. Hey, fair point, man. I get it. I was told that O'Donnell is likely going to be on the roster, but how much does he play? Great question. He hasn't played in a while. Can you get up to speed? Get him in on a few reps? Like, the O-line's a pretty important position. Right? Like, you don't want the guy in there and all of a sudden he misses a call and, your quarterback's getting annihilated because the guy misses a call. So I could see why you don't rush him in. At the same time, you can look and say, hey, we can keep him in some pretty simple packages, like kind of limited. So I'm curious to see him because their O-line needs help. There's no debate. Their O-line needs help. Now, could they go out and find a defensive lineman? Because that's really Connor Halley. What they need just as much. Like, they need someone who can get some consistent pressure.
100%, especially if Jake Ceresna is going to go down. And I mean, Jake Ceresna wasn't even giving you that all the time anyways, but you find an upgrade along the defensive line, that would be absolutely massive. And look no further than the game film from Monday when the Calgary Stampeders were absolutely wrecking shop with what they were doing. And at times rushing only 3. then they'd bring the fourth. And the Elks offensive line was just so discombobulated. Like they were looking around, they were standing, looking at what's going on. They looked confused back there. If the Edmonton Elks could add an element of that to their defensive line every once in a while, like a few extra times a game, it could go a long way. And I think that's a position where you can find lots of guys. Like you can go find skilled edge rushers out there. It is bringing them to Canada if they want to do it and playing for your team. But I think that is a position they could look to upgrade for sure. And that would be huge because the offensive defensive line haven't been good enough all season long. That's kind of, outside of a couple games, Gregor, been the consistent.
Yeah, like Serezna and Brinkman each have 1 sack this year. That's it, right? Nick Anderson has 1. Cordell Jackson, a secondary guy, has 2. He has more, right? Like Noah Taylor leads them with 3. They've got 10 sacks, I think, all season. So, but from the D line specifically, it's just not good enough. So, I don't think there's a miracle guy coming in by any stretch right now, but it is definitely something that they drastically need. They just got to find a way to get some, because Calgary's offense didn't have they weren't on their A game. I give Edmonton's defense some credit because they obviously played a part in that for sure, but they still, it was more so due to some missed throws by the quarterback than it was by them just pressuring the hell out of him and making it uncomfortable. It wasn't from an excessive amount of pressure that led to him being so comfortable. Hey guys, isn't the signing bonus taxed less from Wesley? I don't see how. I could ask that question, but I don't see how. Like that's what you're getting paid. And at the end of the day, when you file your taxes, if your salary is $2 million, whether you get 1.5 in signing bonus, you're still taking home $2 million. So I don't see any reason why it would be taxed less. What the difference is, you can, just by crunching the numbers, make more in interest, right? So now you look at it. So Connor McDavid, let's use Leon Draisaitl's new contract kicks in this year. And I think he's getting $16.5 million in actual cash dollars. His cap hit is $14 million, but he gets $16.5 this year, and then it changes every year. 15.5 of that he got on July 1st or 2nd, somewhere around there. The rest is $1 million salary. You put that $15.5 million, you invest it right away. I'll talk to any financial advisor. Now you're investing that July, August, September. You don't get your first paycheck in the NHL until the middle of October. So you've already gained 3.5 months. If that money's just sitting in an account, heck, put in a low interest GIC at 4%. Do the math on 4% of 15 mil. Pretty good. So yeah, it is. That's the advantage. And the other advantage that never gets talked about a lot in Canada is a player like, if you're a Canadian and you play in Canada and you're getting paid American money, that is a big, big difference, especially with the exchange rate right now. Connor McDavid wasn't making $12.5 million. He's making over 17 million Canadian. So then you go tax that at 50%, still 8.5, right? Go tax the guys in Florida at 10, and they're making 10 mil. They're still getting taxed at 37% of that. So you're better off. Just saying. Have yourselves a great day. We'll see if the Jays can come back. We're going to talk more. I will set up the rematch of the Elks and the Stamps. We also are going to talk a little tennis tomorrow, and hoping to hear from some of the owners. Have yourselves a great day. Here's Connor Halley, Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. You ready to swap your tires this fall? Fountain Tire makes it easy and saves you cash. You can get $50 off tire storage with the purchase of a new set of tires in September. No more stacking tires in your garage. Let them handle it. See locations for details. Fountain Tire.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
The LA Clippers and team owner Steve Ballmer reportedly have been accused of circumventing the NBA salary cap by paying $28 million to Kawhi Leonard for a no-show job. That report comes from Pablo Torre at the U.S. Open. Canadian Felix Auger-Aliassime advancing to the semifinal matchup with a win over Alex de Minaur. He will meet the winner of Yannick Sinner and Lorenzo Musetti. That gets going in about 10 minutes in the semis. In the other semi, you got Novak Djokovic and Carlos Alcaraz. Major League Baseball tonight, Jays in action. Right now trailing the Reds 5-3 in the top of the fifth. Elsewhere, Guardians have a 7-0 lead over the Red Sox. Mariners trail the Rays 4-0. And the Twins up on the White Sox 1-0. Still early. That's in the first. Later on tonight, Astros and Yankees and the Giants in Denver taking on the Rockies. Earlier today, Nationals doubled up the Marlins 10-5. The Mets fell to the Tigers 6-2. Diamondbacks blanked the Rangers 2-0. And it was the Orioles over the Padres 7-5. 2 games in the WNBA tonight. Right now, Dream lead the Sparks 31-24. That's in the second. And at 6 o'clock, you got the Sky hosting the Connecticut Sun. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, it is Fox Sports Radio all night. Live local coverage of Doom tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. right here on Sports 1440 and streaming on Sports 1440 a.m. on YouTube. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports